watching him.
Welcome to the Hutts Hangout. Grab your blasters of blue milk because we're about to deep dive into the game where Hutts rule and 3 scoundrels draw. On this episode, it is Womprat and myself, and we might have a guest a little bit later. I think he's still asleep probably. How are you, Womprat?
Little annoyed. My keyboard has decided that it wants to disconnect, and I need to crawl under my computer to actually get that sorted. So, yeah,
You're not
it's
trained
one
you
of
can't do it
those.
yet.
No,
Oh.
unfortunately, that little bugger, if you ask him to crawl under the desk, he pretty much wants a treat.
Or pulls
And
all the
usually
extra cables out.
Yeah. But usually his idea of a treat is he gets to play Attack My Feet.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so for those in the chat, I'm not ignoring you. I can't currently reply. So I'm sorry. And for those on Discord, same thing. I can't reply.
He's lying. He was typing earlier. He sent us plenty of messages.
Yes, he disconnected partway through stream. I need to crawl under and press a button because it's likely that the cable's just been pulled. So,
yeah.
One of those. Lovely day.
How did you bump it or something? How did it even disconnect?
So I know the cable is shit. I could do with changing the keyboard. And I am tempted to do it on Prime Day because that's like this coming week. And it's my payday week. So yeah, okay. I might spend a bit more money. Mind you, I've still got money left on the gift card, so I may just order one like tomorrow.
How much is it? Are you just getting
Maybe.
the cable or?
I'd have to get the cable, and the cable's not a lot. It's like 20 odd quid. But it is a weird cable that I need because it is to be a 90-degree one for going into the keyboard. Because I have a weird keyboard.
Okay.
So yeah. One of those. Could be worse.
Hmm.
One of those. Other than that, GAC's been great. Annoyed that the raid didn't start the day it should have because people decided to not get their 600. How the fuck are we getting that now? People not getting 600 in this game? Really? Come on.
I mean,
it's not hard.
The Hutts are a bit more casual than what you were in, but we've probably got, because we got a thing probably 3 or 4 people a day just don't get any tickets. They get 0 out of 600, so some of them are the same people, but yeah, generally speaking, it's sort of different people.
I mean, just doing my dailies, I will get 600.
Yeah.
That's just doing the daily shit.
Yeah. I don't think that's just my cantina, wouldn't it be? 120 by 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's
close.
360.
Yeah.
That's 360 off cantina.
Plus, like, the random bonus ones during the day and what's already there. I'd go close to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other thing there is it's like you should be doing mod refreshes. Even like mine in your stage, you're doing mod refreshes. It's like, yeah, how are you missing 600?
Yep.
It's put us behind by a day, but it does mean after the podcast, about 30 minutes later, I'll be going live yet again, second time today, to just sit and do the mod fights, the raid fights over and over and over again, different ones, different strategies. I've already got a list that people want me to test, so if there is others, you'll have to message them on Discord because at the moment I can't even copy paste because my keyboard shortcuts don't work.
Yeah.
Bastards.
It's this will be 48 hours in. I think we've got 1 day left. And I'm enjoying it. I'm like, it's different to Naboo, and I feel like a lot of people have at least figured out Maybe not the exact science behind it, but like enough that it is enjoyable now. I feel like it took 3 or 4 Naboo raids for us to just to get, oh, you have to do, you have to make sure that you wait until they cleanse before you come in, like before you start doing stuff. Or not cleanse, the debuff from them, dispel, I mean. But yeah, I think it seems a lot easier and a lot fucking a million times quicker.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
How are you, Mike?
Oh
How
yeah,
are
yeah,
you?
I'm pretty good. Um, yeah, yeah. I had yesterday. No, yes, yesterday I had the day off, but then I worked today, Saturday, so kind of like a little bit different. But yeah, I'm here. Same shit, different
You,
day.
you wait. You had to work a Saturday?
Yeah, first time. Well, not the first time, but it doesn't normally happen. Yeah,
You don't want to be doing that.
no.
Saturdays are for having a few beers, playing Star Wars, and listening to podcasts.
We
That's
actually
what Saturdays are.
we went to the pub for lunch, so I had my beer.
Fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Halfway through the working day, there's Mike. Oh, you
Oh,
know what I need? I need a beer.
yeah. It was like, yeah. I was able to. It wasn't a big deal. Normally it would be, but yeah. By that point in time, it was just staff, so we sort of just took it as a like a staff function, I guess. And yeah. And then in the afternoon, we just sort of packed up everything, so we could be that little bit. Yeah. And I mean, one beer is not too bad, so yeah. But no,
Yeah, but
pretty
you
good.
know the rule: one beer turns into 10.
Really, so I then went and picked up my oldest daughter from dance afterwards, and then we went to the shops, grocery shopping, and there's bottle shop right next door to the grocery store. And I was like, no, no, I won't. So I've had like a Scotch and Coke, but I was like, you like that? Do I get a case of beer or even just a 6 pack? No, no, I'll behave. So that's why I'm drinking water at the moment. So that yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
well, the thing for me is it's like we've got somebody joking, "I'll go to the pub for breakfast." Next Thursday morning, I am actually at the pub for breakfast time.
Oh yeah.
Not a good thing, but I'm at the pub for breakfast time. And it's just like, I don't want to do that. I really don't. But it is a fun meeting. So, yeah, it's going to be pub breakfast,
Do
which will
they?
also include a beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do they serve alcohol in that, or do you have to wait until like 10 o'clock or something?
After 10 a.m., this place serves alcohol, and we get there for 10 o'clock and we order the breakfast, the full English breakfast. I don't know if you know what it is because you're an Aussie, but it's a
Isn't it
full English
like
breakfast.
sausages, bacon, beans, tomato, mushrooms, hash brown, toast?
And black pudding.
Oh right.
Black
I don't
pudding.
know what
You've
black
got to
pudding
have
is, but
It's nice. It's
yeah.
nice. We'll get you to have some eventually.
Yeah. Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
like that sort of breakfast is always willing to try it, so yeah.
yeah. Full English breakfast. It's usually about 15 minutes after we get there because they know full well we're there every 3 weeks, dead on the 3 week marker. We're there. We're just there to have breakfast together. They know us exactly the day, the time. They see us pulling in because a couple of guys drive in, a couple of them will be there 15, 20 minutes before. We walk in and she says, "Oh, is it the usual group?" Yes. Are you going to sit in the usual spot? Yes. Oh, here he is. Here he is. And we walk in and yeah, it's all good. And it gets sorted. Hey, it worked. Nice one,
Hey,
Mike.
I'm on it. I'm on it. I'm starting to get all the squares all sorted out.
technology.
Yeah.
Damn,
Hi.
I'm zoomed in here.
How are you?
I'm good. Apparently, I am like super zoomed in.
It is a
Trying to
little bit,
move
isn't
it.
it? I can make it.
Yeah.
Can I make it smaller? Probably.
God knows. God knows.
Ah,
No, I
For
can't
those that
change the
don't
zoom.
know, for those that don't know this lovely voice by voice, we have had a wild Tasnex arrive.
yay!
Welcome, buddy.
Silly him said hi in the chat.
Silly him said hi in the chat. I've broken my keyboard. Aussie Mike said whilst we were before show, "Oh, can you give him a message, see if he wants to jump on?" And it was like, Mike, my keyboard's broken.
Yeah.
You'll have to.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome, Tasnex.
How are you?
So now
'Cause
we've
we've done the
done
intro, so how are you?
yeah, we're and our intro's out. How is the tass?
Doing well. Fresh out of the shower, hot mug of coffee. More GAC to be done today. It's a good day. How about you guys?
Now,
Yeah.
I'm good. Now, you've just said something that is a very favorite word of mine, and
Hot coffee?
I did share it earlier.
Yeah.
Where is me copy link? I need to copy a link, and I've got to work out how to do this without a freaking keyboard.
Yeah, I know what you want.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. I've got it.
Yeah, but
And we talked about a coffee. Oh, fuck. Right, sand. There we go. Yeah, we were talking about a coffee machine earlier, Tass.
Yeah.
I because of the charity work, I refused to allow them to pay me my train fare back. So they paid me in an Amazon gift voucher.
Mhm.
I have ordered myself a proper coffee machine.
A proper what machine?
A proper like latte and espresso machine.
Oh, okay. What did you get? What'd you go for?
It's only a cheapy one. It's like 300 quid, but it means that I can grind the beans properly so I can have proper ground beans. I can do the milk properly. It's just like,
can you
oh,
see the stream?
I'm going to have proper coffee.
Oh, yeah. Breville. Yeah. So dig this. Breville it will make you a wonderful cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Be on top of the maintenance for that thing. Those things are a devil. If you are even slightly out of schedule maintenance. We had one for whatever reason. The boss wanted to have one of these in the office. Naturally, the boss isn't the person that maintains said machine. And in absence of a single person being designated responsibility for said machine, no one was responsible for the machine. So when the coffee pot stopped working, yours truly decided to look into it. No, I'll never do that again. I got that thing to work. That was like 2.5 hours of time at work.
Yeah.
Cleaning that pot.
So something one of my friends has already said to me regarding it is clean the bean stuff straight after use, clean the head straight after use. Just do it after you've used it, and then you're never going to have to do it straight away after again.
I'm telling you,
it's just not working.
There's going to come a few good days where you're going to just not think about how bad that is if you don't do it, and you're going to feel tempted to not do it. It is such a huge favor, the type of pain that you are saving yourself, the type of time.
Yeah.
But what gets
this
dirty?
is the thing.
Because isn't it all like hot water?
No, so the grinder can get bits of bean that don't get ground properly, which can jam that. So it's like it's worth cleaning that every time just to be on the safe side. And then it's pouring it through. And if you don't clean it well enough, it can actually block. So it's like, okay.
Okay.
My mate told me all the horror stories that they've had with theirs. And it's just like, yeah, okay. I do want this machine still, but at the same time, don't be a dick. Please don't be a dick.
It's kind of like a Mercedes coffee machine. Nobody's going to say a Mercedes isn't nice. This makes a nice cup of coffee. You will be impressed, but you got to be on top of the maintenance.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh,
Hey, Bubbles.
I have
What's going on?
a
Bubbles, Asher, Steve.
pod machine one at work, and that's me. So I'm like, what the fuck's all these other things you've got attached? Like, yeah. Anyway.
I get to have the really, really nice coffee. And the joke is, I ordered myself some 30-ounce mugs. So the really big mugs. So it's like, all that coffee. So expect to see me drinking a hell of a lot more coffee on stream.
Good cup of black coffee is like one of life's purest pleasures. Have you ever had a Krispy Kreme donut?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so like the original glaze, that soft, very light, thin glaze, very sweet, but it's so thin. And then a big bite of that donut with a sip of just the blackest, hottest coffee you can take. Just ah.
Damn, that just sounds far too nice. And the thing is, I've already been trying to source some nice coffee beans. One of my friends is actually sending me from where they live the really, really nice coffee that I can't get over here.
Wow.
And it was just like, okay, I'm going to be having my mouth full of pleasure of really nice coffee.
Somebody clip that.
Yep.
That's a clip
There
right
goes
there.
the YouTube.
Soundboard that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm happy that I'm going to have a really nice coffee machine.
Asher asks in the chat, I was watching your mod video the other day and remembered hearing about refreshing this assault battle that's currently running today. I had never refreshed it before today and didn't know that you could keep refreshing it. How many times do you recommend refreshing it? That's up to you. You see what the crystal cost is. I want to say it's the same price the first 2 times you refresh it, and then it starts to go on up from there. There is a hard limit. But it's up to you about how many crystals you want to throw at it. Personally, I think that maybe the last year or so, I've really been focusing on farming defense as my desired 2-piece instead of health. That's at very high relics. Health will do just fine. And until I had such a robust inventory of health mods, I would refresh that probably at least the 2 times. I don't know that I go beyond that, to be honest. But you can make that call for yourself. It depends on how hard up you are on them because they are coming to you at a guaranteed level of rarity, not necessarily quality, but at least rarity. And yeah, I mean, it's really a personal call. Ooh, GT Dean, take that donut right off the line.
Yeah.
To be there when they're rolling off the line at like 5 a.m. at the Krispy Kreme. Ooh.
Yeah.
They give you the free one to tempt you into buying the dozen, and you know your fat ass is buying at least the dozen.
I was laughing the other week because I had to go down to Birmingham for the morning, and I was meant to be streaming in the afternoon. It's why I've been later on the Thursdays because I'm not getting back till like just after 12, which is when I start. So it's like, right, okay. And we got down there and they were like, oh, do you want some donuts to go back with?
No.
And it was like,
fuck yes, I do.
Yeah, go on then. And they pulled out this Krispy Kreme box. And it was, oh yeah, we've got you 24 donuts.
Oh.
And it was like, and I'm unhealthy as shit for the next 2 days.
It took you
and
2 days?
Were gone in 2 days.
I was going to say, no true fatty would let that survive the night.
Yeah.
The only reason I had to do it over 2 days was I have to be very careful about putting on too much weight.
Fair.
That's fair. But I mean, none of this was a discussion about good medical health, to be clear.
Yeah. It's the, I don't want to break the wheelchair any more than I do on a daily basis. Let's be good.
Fair enough.
Doesn't happen regular, as we all know. I eat shit. My healthy eating when it comes around to stream stuff. Yeah. Yeah, okay. It's not healthy.
The
So,
my
yeah.
daughter's dance on a Saturday morning, along the way to there, or from there technically, is an actual Krispy Kreme store. So like, not like we can get them the servos, petrol stations, or what do you call gas stations if in America. We can get them from there, but they're never like fresh. You have to go to like the Krispy Kreme stores, and there's one on the way home from dropping her off to dance, and it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah, it's like 9:30 in the morning. By the time I'm driving back past it, it's not great. Yeah,
Yeah. The temptation of donuts, eh?
yeah,
Temptation of donuts.
yeah.
Now, to what we've actually got to talk about
Oh
today,
yeah,
then,
let's.
because
Yeah,
that's why people are here.
yeah,
Fair.
It's not to hear us want donuts for the rest of the day
yeah.
and me be tempted between the end of this stream and the start of raid testing to run to the shop to get donuts. Honestly, that might happen now.
Can
Thanks,
you get
guys.
can you get Krispy Kremes on Uber Eats? Or what do you guys
Um,
have over there? You got Uber Eats or?
we've got Uber Eats. I don't know if I can get Krispy Kremes, and I can't check 'cause my keyboard. Fucker. I've
You
just gone to check and pressed.
don't you have like on your phone? I didn't even know Uber Eats did. Anyway, again, way off
I
topic.
use the web app more than I use my phone for shit. I'll be brutally honest. I barely use my phone as much as I can help it.
All right. Okay. What do you want to start with, Womp?
Oh,
Do you want to do the kit?
let's
Do you want to
start
talk
with
about
this.
pirates? Do you want to talk about the
We'll talk
updates?
about pirates in general
Okay.
first.
All right. Well,
Pirates
that's
in
where we're
general
at.
first.
All right.
Yar.
Arr.
Are you reading it or am I reading it?
Go on, we'll let the Aussie read it.
All right.
We'll let the AI do its job.
Yar, mateys. Set sails to the era of the piracy on the quest for unknown location transmission. So basically,
Oh God, really?
I'm not reading all.
They went with that.
What?
So they went with unknown location for the transmission. They could have at least chose Hondo's home world,
Okay.
Lauren.
Yeah.
They could have chosen that, and it would have been even funnier then.
I'm not reading any of the other stuff, but
Yeah.
basically they gave us a spoiler, which you drop down and it's Hondo, which
Yeah.
I think most people sort of had. Like he was definitely in the conversation, right? Everybody can sort of agree on that.
Yeah, like you had loads of people saying it was Mars and loads of people saying it was really obscure pirates, and it was like, it won't be Mars. The era, well, those three films are not liked by enough of the community to pull off Mars being a GL. Number one. They're not as bad as some of the recent stuff, but there we go.
Yeah.
Hondo, the fact that it's Pirate King Hondo, which is like height of his highest point of power in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Definitely worth it. I think
isn't the
it
one
is the
we've
better
got at the
choice.
moment based on
Rebels.
Disney ride or something?
Yeah, Rebels point.
Okay.
Where he is definitely out for himself. He would still be out for himself even back then, but it's one of those things, and Tiny Bubbles has said it perfectly, of why I want you to read this. Criminals reading about criminals. Interesting choice.
Okay.
But yeah, so we got told the 6 pirates that are coming. I put pictures in our Discord to try and help people that didn't know the names, but we also got told the next Conquest character, which is Maz, which I can accept. I can accept Maz being Conquest. I can't accept Maz being yeah.
Oh, we know Ithano or Ithano.
Yep.
Let's have a look and see what else.
Quick Gold. Quick Gold is the pig person.
Oh yeah.
Now, I've rewatched since, and yes, he is in quite a bit of the series.
Fucking ads.
Is that what pigs look like in the UK?
Yeah,
You guys have
yeah,
fucked up pigs.
yeah, definitely. Now, Kix. Okay, so Kix's history is that he's basically a clone that went missing, and it's believed that he could be Ithano. It's believed that Kix could be Ithano.
Could be what? Sorry.
It could have been. It was proven that it wasn't, but Ithano could have been Kix.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
which is why I was so confused when I read it, because it's like there is rumors that he is Ithano. But yeah, one of those.
Okay.
One
Yep.
of those.
Brutus
Then
is
you've
from
got
what's it called?
Brutus, which is the wolf
Skeleton.
guy.
Yep.
You've got Vane, which is what's his name?
His
Hondo's second in command.
he was also in Skeleton Crew, wasn't he?
Yep, he was, but he's the second in command for Hondo. He's the one that tries to betray him,
Silvo's.
steals spice. And this is Jod.
Yeah.
Captain Silvo is Jod.
Okay. I know these four, but I've not heard of Kix, Squiggold, or Ithano.
Kix is one of those where it's definitely he was found by pirates. That's why he is deemed as a pirate, because he was found by him and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
Ends up basically being a clone pirate.
Okay.
Big Gold and Ixthan. Ixthan is it's with Finn. I think Finn tries to join up with him. And Quick Gold, yeah, that's I can't remember what series, but yeah, one of those.
Will it be in if I googled him?
You could probably Google what series he turned up in. You'll probably tell us somewhere on here. Appearances, number 4.
Yep.
You've been searching for a new bed again.
Apparently.
Yep. There you go. Appearances, Crimson Crosshair,
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens, yeah. But yeah,
a Finn story. And apparently
it's yeah. God knows. Don't care. But
I'm curious.
It's one of those where, like, overall, it's nice that we're getting pirates from not just one era and one set point in time, and we're getting pirates from all over. But I really hope they do a good job of these kits. Like, we are assuming Quick Gold might be the tank, or it's going to be Brutus. But we've already had call out.
He's a medic, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
all right.
Quick Gold might be support. If Quig is support, Brutus has to be the tank. Okay. But Kix is definitely healer or support. Okay. Has to be. Couldn't be anything else.
All right.
So, how do you feel about these pirates then? First of all, before we go any further.
Okay. The fact that they're tied to a galactic legend is, I was like, these, I'll probably just slow farm them. I'm not gonna spend any money on them, I don't think. Unless, something major comes out for them to be needed other than the raid. Like House of the Hut will get back to where we were, but we're not going to be max crating or anything like that. So there's not a real push, and especially not for like the number of people who'll get Hondo, the GL. Like the guild, there might be like 3 or 4 of us who'll get him. So it's not even like a massive change in scores or anything. I don't know. I don't. The pirates are sort of an unknown for me, so I just like I said, I know the
So,
last 4 and the other ones I had no idea.
so Tass, how do you feel about this list of pirates then?
I mean, like Vane and Captain Silvo are at least people that I kind of know.
Yeah.
Not saying I care. And then Maz Kanata is, I don't get it. Like, I don't really see her as a pirate, but okay.
Yeah.
You know, sell me good teams. At the point that the game needed to invent characters into the Star Wars universe in service of making a team work, I'm cool with that. I know what I'm here for. So I don't, none of these characters light my fire or anything. I don't really care about them, but yeah, I expect the team will do good things. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll find out.
So the only
So-
ones you knew were Vane and Silvo?
Yeah, like at least by name, when you show me their picture, if you like Google them, I'm sure like, oh, that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like by name recognition, Vane and Captain Silva, that's it. Maz Kanata, I guess. But again, I don't even. One of these things is not like the other. Like, why is she here?
So she is introduced as the pirate queen.
Yeah, but
So
In the movie?
yeah,
that's like a one. I definitely do not remember.
it's a
that.
one-line moment.
Yeah.
If that is
I remember
true,
her big
if that is
eyes.
true, then I have to acknowledge it because technically correct is the best kind of correct.
Yeah. It's that moment of it's a one-line thing that she's never introduced again as the pirate queen. It is just Maz.
That is
that's-
stupid annoying.
It's
But
like
you know what?
when Lando says to Han, you dirty pirate or whatever it is. It's a one-line thing, and you'd never think of Han as a pirate, right?
Yeah.
But
No, I would. I mean, not in like the boarding ship sense, but like how much delineation do you make between a pirate and a smuggler?
But here's the thing.
yeah,
Because he said that, does that not mean he should have the pirate tag?
no.
I'm sure for game breaking reasons he doesn't. Every time they add a rebel team, they're like, you can throw Han in here, but specifically, he doesn't get the best of the best here.
Yeah, it's that moment of you can guarantee there is going to be some form of testing why Han did not get that pirate tag. And I could imagine it's because people like me or Tass or any of that other high-end lot would find something ridiculous and then take it to the extreme. Like, for God's sake, I remod now for 3v3 against 5v5. I have 2 different mod setups.
Yes.
Yeah, I can
come to the dark
guarantee. Yeah. It is that moment of I can guarantee stupid shit will happen. We'll find something that breaks it and it will break further. Right, next bit then, Mike. Next bit.
All right. So, so they mentioned that once you get Hondo, reminder that he's part of the raid. So there's an error battle. Not the we all saw that coming. You've like there's obviously a problem because it's not actually in the game yet, or like
Yeah. So
is it coming to the game? Do we know anything?
As far as we know, so the era battle should in theory start the same time as all the other era battles, which would mean the 8th when the marquee finishes.
Yeah, it's the next day.
Whatever time it finishes for you is when it's meant to start.
Oh, it's the same time, is it? I thought it was a day after.
No, they usually swap over exactly on the same time.
Right.
So the era battle starts as the first one finishes.
Okay.
Now, the problem is not in the data mines.
Because that
The
was
era battle's not there.
That's this. The thing's really out of whack because it's not big enough. I saw the picture.
Yeah. So I did send it to Aussie Mike earlier.
Yeah.
I can't scroll back and grab it. Boys, when they first introduced era battles, they basically said there'll be 2 of the new ones that week. There'll be 2 of the current Jedi
It looks
one.
like we're blacked out here on
Yeah.
stream.
Yeah.
There you go.
The
You got it.
pictures, because it's right in the middle of the screen, and I've got it capturing towards the top. It's not really working. I'll have to deal with that. But yeah.
Well, you happen to have a guy who's very well qualified to help you with that here, having Womp around.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have not got my keyboard.
He's
What I'm going to do,
but
save
if I
image, bear with us. I will make it on here. I may lose something that's important though, so it will come up on
I
my
wasn't
screen
meaning to
and
say it had, do it now. I'm saying, this is, Womp's your man though. to
Yeah.
troubleshoot it.
it's more that the pictures
then-
needs to be like bigger because the mouse is way up
There we
here, but the picture's way below.
There we go. So you guys, if you pull it to the screen where you can see us, I've made it so it's above my head. Aussie Mike.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's
So-
tiny as so.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll blow it up now.
Okay.
Just replace me a little bit. Doesn't matter. So usually marquee ends, new marquee begins, ends straight after. Now we've got the Jedi one and the last 2 of the what's the other one? Nightfall. So we've got Nightfall twice more. We've got 2 of these, and these are meant to start right away.
Wait, wasn't Nightfall orange? And then the green's
Yes.
Jedi and purple's
Yeah. And purple's the
Pirates.
brand new one. And then towards the end, we lose that. We lose
the
down to
Nightfall.
one of these. We gain a new era one, which is where this is, and we gain 1 of everything else. So this is going to be nice because we're going to flood ourselves with all the shit.
Yeah.
The problem that we've got is you look at the timeline. And the timeline would be it will finish on the 8th. The new era battle should start on the 8th when that finishes, but it won't because it's not in game. And the next update will likely be the 9th. So we're at least going to have a day where we don't have the new era battle.
Okay.
Which, in theory, is actually a good thing.
I always thought
Because
that
it
was the
means-
case, but maybe
So
I'm
the
getting
reason-
them to 7 stars the day before the event finishes, so that's where I'm thinking the day is.
Yeah. So the reason I think this is potentially a good thing is for those that are not like, I know Tass has got all the gear and all the bloody relics hoarded to the hell. Me, I've got all the gear hoarded, but when it comes to the relics, I'm going, shit. And it's a week for me to farm for relic 7. Usually takes me about a week to get relic 7 gear. For Mike, I don't know where you sit in that, but I know that you struggled with gear for Mace, where it's like having that extra day might be the difference between me going, well, it's relic 7 or it's relic 5. It might be that difference where it's like, I can actually do it now. So it being a day late, does it bother me? Yes, because I like patterns. I like to know how patterns are going to remain. Is it a good thing? Potentially, yes. Because what if they drop the Jedi one? Oh, look, we've got the Jedi one, which gives you more relic mats to then do this one. It's a no-brainer. It's a good thing.
So,
Granted,
That's
it's
fair.
shit, but it's a good thing.
Asher in chat is probably where my head's going, is what will he actually, like, is he going to be this groundbreaking, everybody absolutely needs him to make the pirates work?
I think the lead, which we'll get to, will mean that you can do more in the raid. I think that will make a 4-person pirate team more than his 300 points, which is the current standard.
Yeah.
That 3-person pirate team gets 300 points, you walk away, and that's it. That's done. However, we are going to be testing that later, seeing if we can squeeze anything else out. But with Itho, it might be, oh, look, you can go to the Relic 500 tier and not the Relic 5 tier and just go, well, I've got rewards. I've got 1 million off these characters. Who cares? Done.
How have you been using the Pirates task? Are you able/willing to share that information, or is it not available at this point in time?
I honestly don't think any of us are even thinking how we're going to be using pirates yet. I'll be very honest there.
No clue. It's always, you know, it's always tempting to speculate on what they're gonna do, and but we're so far away from having a sense of even a complete 3 versus 3 team in terms of mechanics, right?
Yeah.
Like I think we got what's his name, Captain Itho. I think his kit's here in game right now.
Yes.
Yep.
That's it from the new characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no value, I think, in fretting about it.
It's like when you think, we'll talk about his lead in a bit, but it's like with all the pirates we've got now, in 5s, Hondo has a home. Nest, okay, doesn't really have a home. It just floats around wherever we want to use it. Maybe that gets a home. Sana, when the shit that's abusable, Sana has a home. Usually is a goddamn lead. At the moment, I don't even think we've got a 3-man team. Because, yeah, we could use Sana Nest at the moment because Sana isn't abusable right now. Nest doesn't really have a home right now, but it's like, that's not a 3-man team I want to test. It's going to be once Quig comes out, then we'll get the new start of the next part of the era. That's where it's like, okay, now what can we do? Which, that's going to be next 3v3. We're already at next 3v3 before all of it's ready. And it's just like, God damn it. CG.
I think somebody needs, next time somebody gets to have an interview with CG, somebody needs to ask them a question where it's loaded with the compliment up front. Like one of the big successes of SWGoH over the last couple of years is with new character releases, having consideration for how to modify or modernize or even just make use of the existing kit for old characters that have otherwise been displaced. Like you're just not using them offensively, defensively in Grand Arena. And so, I applaud them, if this is going to make Nest more full-time, useful, other more obscure, pirate characters, whatever. I'm down for that, but the question needs to be asked, like you're putting all this care and attention into making it. What if your wildest dreams come true and you have millions of people getting all these characters and wanting to play? How are you going to keep them engaged and keep them wanting to go after the next thing if the Grand Arena board stays the same damn size? How are you supposed to use all this?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Or even TW, like.
I mean, yes, for TW fans, yes, for sure.
It's like when I was in your server last night, somebody said about it. I can't remember who it was, but they got to the last 2 fights and had 2 GLs left, and it was like, no, I want to use the GLs.
Yeah.
Because they're GLs. I don't exactly want to not use them.
Yeah.
And then when you think we can get to that stage where you have a GL just sat in your inventory and you'll have things like Bow, you'll have Starkiller, you'll have Malakos teams. And you're sat there in 3s going, yeah.
Exactly. People are saying that in 3 versus 3. You're having a glut of teams in 3 versus 3 now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in 5s, it is very much more, this gets painful because you have to set a strong enough defense to draw enough out of your opponent. But even then, you get into the tail end of it, and it's like, I've still got teams. Still got teams.
It's true.
And it's fun to do. It is fun to see how far you can push your luck.
All right. Do we
Right.
want to... The other stuff that's in there... We haven't heard any information about the error battle specifically, have we? I haven't seen
No.
anything.
No.
Yeah.
I even, partway through the stream, when I realized that, I even went and double checked on the Discord server in the data mines, and it was like, usually we have that lovely video of scrolling across them going, here's the rewards, enjoy, and it's just like, haven't got that.
Yeah.
There is no era battle in game right now.
Yeah. All right.
And it's just like, we can't even test. We can't even theorize if it's possible. You bastards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go through any of the shipment stuff that's coming?
The shipment stuff. The shipment stuff is mainly the people that are going to be affected is lower end players, which is fine. But it's, do you need these shards? Yes or no? Everything else is not changing. It's literally just shards that change.
Is there anything we can look into about requirements for Hondo in those?
Yeah, so the requirements that we've got in-game for Hondo.
So in the shipments, we're getting Hondo, Nest, Thanastaros, Vandor, Chewbacca, Dash, Padawan, Obi-Wan, Master Qui-Gon, Night Trooper, and Morgan Elsbeth. Obviously, Hondo is already needed.
Yeah.
Any of the others?
And Veteran Smuggler Chewie is needed.
Yep. No, that's Vandor in here. Different.
Oh, Vandor's in there.
Yeah.
Fair enough. At least it isn't Clone Wars Chewie. None of us have got enough shards for that yet.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I can see potentially things like Nest may be a requirement just to be awkward to us. But I don't see a lot of them being requirements. It's like the current requirements that we know of is Itho Relic 3, which is actually a nicety for once. It's not, here is your Relic 7 requirement.
But wasn't there a mess up with that somewhere it actually had Relic 5, but in game had Relic 3? So then they said, we'll go with the Relic 3 option.
So the original announcement did have it at Relic 5. It was edited within 5 minutes to be Relic 3.
Yeah. Okay. We can forgive such quick action.
Yeah. Hondo is Relic 9 requirement. Of course, you're going to require a Hondo for Hondo. He set that precedent with Ahsoka, didn't he? Here is an Ahsoka. Have an Ahsoka.
Well, and also, just like Ahsoka, they're really doing you a favor here. Wherever you're wanting to use Hondo, the higher the relics, the better, because he's one of those characters where, you stick like a potency cross on him, like crit damage triangle, and then health arrow, health circle with high offense and stuff like that. Just he's a brick wall. He has ramping health. If you like using Hondo, this is just rewarding you. If you were already liking him, this makes him better.
Yeah. Yep. Veteran Smuggler Chewbacca at Relic 7, which is a bit. When was the last time any of us used him?
Wasn't he part of Conquest or something? Doesn't his auto?
I'm sure.
Basic do something.
Sure. Two full conquests ago, yes, he was required as one of the conquest units.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was like what, 6+ months back.
I remember.
And then the real bad one out of this bunch is a Relic 6 Ezra Bridger. Ezra. Yeah, not sure who it is.
I didn't even notice that one. It was already done when I went in. Is he operation for TB or something?
Yes, he's required at Relic 8 for TB. He's got you can use him on a mission at Relic 8 as well. It's like, okay, it's not a horrific one, but out of all of the Phoenix, he is the worst by a long way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But he does interact with Hondo a lot, so they've kind of gone with lore there. I do like it, don't get me wrong, even though I just don't like Ezra in game. So they've
Alright.
done
Yeah.
good there.
Cool. Are we gonna do Kit next for?
Well, my one is: has anybody got any bad takes they want to say here about who the other requirements are going to
Oh
be
no,
at
don't.
High Relic?
No.
Because I put it in Tass's chat with him, and I also put it to you, Aussie Mike. I think we're going to need an R9 Ugnaught because he's always seen with a
don't you
bloody
dare.
Ugnaught.
Oh,
Don't
he
you
is.
dare. That's not a bad take. That's a cursed take.
Yeah, but
What?
in the Clone Wars and in Rebels, he is seen with a goddamn Ugnaught all the fucking time.
You've just ruined my night, one Pratt.
Good.
I'm
Good.
actually like still with fear that somebody at CG is actually going to hear that. You know,
Well,
now that
the
you put it
problem
into the
is,
ether.
Yeah.
the problem is we know that the intern at CG is forced to listen to all of the podcasts and just looks for all of Bones's bad takes. Luckily, he doesn't look for mine. Hopefully,
Why have I got mine
but
at Relic 5?
that
Lightspeed?
will
Do we have
be
Lightspeed
day
Monday?
one. No, day one shit is needed at R5 and R6
Okay.
and R7.
Okay.
So people will have it higher,
But not at Relic
but
9.
that's my worry that they are going to go, well, he's always seen with an Ugnaught. Oh, fuck. You bastards. No. Please, no.
That would actually be like the kind of thing that CG does. Like that's a lot closer than some of the requirements we've had in the past. Like some of them have just been like, yeah, not even just because they needed a shit character, right? So anyway, all right.
You know what the better option would be, and the option I would prefer? They turn around and go, here's Ugnaught's requirement, but it's Relic 1. The only other time we get it, here's a Relic 1 character, because we know how much you guys hate him.
Okay.
Deeply forbidden.
Level 3, Relic 3 for a marquee. That is, I feel, is extremely generous. Like, if you're going to use this in a team, like, it's going to be a lot higher than Relic 3, right? But you're looking at 7, probably at least.
Yeah.
So I think
Like,
that was quite generous of them, that one.
it's usually 5 or 7. It's
Yeah.
usually not that cheap. So it's like, okay, fair enough. I can accept that.
Is
I can
this
save
the
Relic mats.
hey, this GL's going to be nice and gentle, and people start to farm them, and then the last like 4 requirements is Relic 9 Ugnaught, Relic 9, like all 4 of them are Relic 9s or something, and just
No.
yeah,
The forbidden.
Yeah, the forbidden fruit moment of, yeah, we've tricked you into thinking this is all niceties.
yes.
And then the last one is like, here, by the
Or
way.
or are they lower relics because not a lot of people are excited about it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, as far as who the other characters are going to be, how many of these are new marquees? Like 4, 6 for
8?
the new faction entirely? But like, yeah, who's it going to require? It's going to require all these characters at Relic 5 plus. I'm sure of it.
Well, we've got 7 or 6 marquees, and Maz is the conquest. You'd assume they're all going to be requirements?
So supposedly it's a R5 requirement. And it is a mistake in game and not in the kit, which we'll be getting to in a minute. But yeah.
Where did you get that information?
Because
that's what
Bodhi put it in the chat that the kit had it at R5. They made a mistake in the journey guide.
Oh yeah, but keep reading down further. He says that
Meathead confirmed.
says it'll stay at Relic 3. Yeah. So you're good on that.
Yeah. That's good then.
Bye.
You have a waving.
Right. I have a little bandita who's invaded the frame.
Invasion. Quick.
Okay, so we going on to the kit or anything else we want to do on this?
Yeah, so we can move towards Shidden's kit. I mean, Captain Itho. I will still call it whichever I can be asked to decide.
All right, am I reading?
Yeah, fire away. I'm just making the notes for the timestamps.
All right. Okay, so this is Captain Ithano. His dark side attacker, leader, pirate, scoundrel, Order 66 raid. So where are we? One of the leaders of the pirate faction. He's going to be using that pirate's profit and stealing as two new key concepts. So in the Force Awakens, the pirate who Finn joined. Anything else in the strategy stuff that we need to look at, or it's too early to bother?
Not really.
Okay.
We need the rest of his team to actually bother to look at what is needed.
Right. You can't put it all together. That'll be helpful to, be able to refer back to this page when you do have a full team.
Yeah.
And then think about those strategy tips in context. But yeah, before then, nah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So marquee starting 11 a.m. Pacific time, July 1st. Is he required for Hondo? And they've said yes at Relic 3. Is Ithano the ideal pirate leader? Some upcoming GL and Conquest units will bring more power, but he's a solid leader to get you started with the new pirates. He's not getting a bespoke Datacron.
That's just coming later. You can
Yeah.
guarantee they're waiting for like 2 or 3 pirates to be out so that Datacron can basically turn them into mini gods.
Yeah.
And it's that moment of you can guarantee once that drops, it's going to be, this hurts.
Yeah.
Just look at the Raycron and all the other crons at the moment.
Yeah.
I know me and Tass probably both have the nightmares of, oh fuck, it's Ray. Please, please, no. Like, luckily today we had the Muppet put it with KRU and it was like,
what the fuck? Yeah.
dead. Well, then the other account had it. Oh, look, it's the Raycron. Yay. Fucking please, JMK, do your job.
All right. So what is stealing? Stealing is used by pirate faction.
I love that as a line, by the way. What is stealing?
The Oxford Dictionary. Anyway. So stealing is used by the pirate faction to strip buffs from enemies and give them to themselves and their allies.
So, stealing.
Yeah. That's something we probably could have guessed.
See, they borrow the buffs without the intention of returning them.
Yeah. That's the one. All right.
Right.
So
now, the animations for this, I actually like.
Yeah, that's what I was just looking at it.
They're quite basic, but I actually like them.
Yeah.
As you see the cape moves and other bits move, it's not just the there's little tiny details.
Steve in chat, stealing is surprise lending. Anyway.
The real surprise mechanics.
Yeah. All right. So basic Corsair blaster rifle. So deal physical damage to the enemy and gain offense up. During a Thanos turn, gain foresight to pirate support and tank allies for 1 turn. Cool.
So at the moment, it's potentially good. It's got potential.
Yep.
It's offense up. It's foresight. Congrats, we don't have enough pirates.
Yep.
We don't have the rest of the fucking team.
All right. Special one. Lower your shields. Or lower ye shields, actually.
Yeah, I was about to say, you got to put your back into the pirate voice, man. Lower ye shields.
So final text.
Oh. Yeah.
Keep deal physical damage to the target enemy. The target enemy has defense up or protection up. Steal them. Reset their duration and grant stolen buffs on himself to all pirate allies when attack again. Well, then attack again, dealing 50% more damage. If no buffs are stolen, attack again and inflict defense down on target enemy for 1 turn. If Ithano has 3 or fewer stacks of profit, dispel all buffs on the target enemy. If Ithano has more than 3 stacks of profit, he dispels all debuffs on himself.
So obviously, the spin of the pistol is him removing all the debuffs from himself. That's obvious. That's how he does it. But yeah.
Okay. Right.
But again, we don't have enough of the faction. It's a brand new faction. It's the first character. A lot of what we will want to talk about will be like the third character down the line, where we'll start pulling the kit apart, start going through it, and it's like, ooh, this is where it got good. Until then, it is the disappointment of like, what can we actually talk about?
Yeah.
The mechanics. That's it.
All right.
So,
Special 2, Intimidating Display. Deal physical damage to all enemies, gain defense penetration for 2 turns, and expose the enemy for 1 turn. If the ally in the leader slot is a non-galactic legend, pirate support, and Ithano has foresight, attack again and call Kix and Quiggold to assist. If Ithano has at least 4 stacks of profit, inflict fear on the enemy on the target enemy for 1 turn at the end of his turn, which can't be evaded or resisted.
So that just says to me, I'm going to end up under Mars with Kix and Quig. That's kind of dictating
But
this
isn't
team.
this guy the leader?
Yes, but Maz is the stronger leader for him.
Okay.
That it says that conquest character is meant to be the stronger leader and leads the second team. The fact that he's going to end up on the second team kind of sucks.
Okay.
But we'll see.
All right.
Since when have we ever listened to CG on teams? We end up pulling teams apart.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Unique. You keep going.
For those that can't see, Tass was nodding his head there.
Okay.
Because you've got the screen up.
Oh, yes. Yeah. All right. So, final text. At the start of the battle, if all allies are pirate, Ithano gains 50% offense, and the first time Ithano is defeated, he is revived with 50% health. While Ithano has foresight, he gains 30% offense, and whenever foresight expires, Ithano gains retribution for 1 turn. Whenever Quiggold falls below 50% of his health for the first time, Ithano marks himself 2 turns. While Ithano is marked this way, he gains 80% bonus protection, 40% offense, and tenacity up until marked expires. If Ithano defeats an enemy while he is marked this way, he gains 2 stacks of profit, stacking with a max of 5. Whenever Ithano uses an ability on his turn, he gains foresight for 1 turn. Whenever Ithano uses a special ability and has at least 4 stacks of profit, remove all the stacks and deal bonus true damage to the target enemy. He also has a TW Omicron. So at the start of each encounter, Ithano gains accuracy up and speed up for 5 turns. Whenever Ithano scores a critical hit, call a random pirate support and tank ally to assist, dealing 50% more damage. At the start of turn, if there is no galactic legend in the allied slot, and Ithano has more than 3 stacks of profit, inflict death mark on the strongest enemy for 1 turn, which can't be dispelled or evaded. If an enemy is defeated, all pirate allies gain 3 stacks of profit with a stacking with a max of 5, and gain defense penetration up, offense up, and retribution for 2 turns.
So I kind of like all of this unique, like the territory war stuff for it. Meh. Don't really care too much. It'll go on the big account. It sounds like it'll be interesting. Inflicting death mark on the strongest usually means congrats, I might be able to kill you now. An emergency, I got you dead. Okay, I can accept that. But again, it's a mechanics fight. We can only really talk about the mechanics of it. And it just looks like it's a strong ability. It looks strong enough. We just need the rest of the team.
Yeah.
And that's what this is going to keep coming back to is like we're about to read the leadership, which is pretty damn good. It sounds pretty damn nice. But again, we need the rest of his team.
Yeah. So the leader, Crimson Corsair, at the start of the battle, all pirate allies gain 30% max health and max protection, then gain offense up and tenacity up for 1 turn. At the start of their turn, if a pirate ally has more buffs than debuffs, they gain a stack of profit, stacking with a maximum of 5. If they have more debuffs than buffs, they lose a stack of profit. Pretty straightforward, interesting, but straightforward.
So overall, I think it's got a chance to be okay. It's got a good ability to be good. We're assuming that Kix and Quig are going to be healer, stroke support, or tank because of how his kit's worded. The chances are Quig is the tank, Kix is going to be support. Okay, fair enough. That's all fine. I'm just really hoping that the rest of these teams come out to be a lot more, oh, that's interesting, because his kit isn't. It might be partly due to the fact he's the first one for a new faction. Remember when we first got Bad Batch and we got Hunter, it was like, meh. Same with bloody Spectre. Oh, look, meh, don't care. It's taken a lot to reach the stage where those teams now, they are good. But we're waiting for the third character, we're waiting them for the fourth and fifth character. This is leading to GL Hondo. This is not, oh yeah, it's all okay. This is, okay, it's the start of a new faction. I really don't care.
When do you reckon Hondo is in game?
Exactly at the end of this one, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 marquees. Yeah, 6 marquees and then journey guide. Yeah, 12 weeks. You are muted, Tass, if you're talking to us.
Sorry, yeah, about 2 weeks per marquee.
Yeah.
So like 12 weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Right.
I think it's going to be a lot quicker than we would like. And I'm going to be honest, I want to invest in the new raid.
That's like
I
October,
really do.
right? End of September, beginning of October.
Yeah.
And we had Ahsoka the week before Christmas?
Yep.
Or 2 weeks before Christmas.
Something like that. I know she came into
break,
game right as they went on break, and it was like, that is a very dangerous idea.
Risky. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So we haven't even had Ahsoka out for, by the time Hondo comes around, it could be like 10 months.
Yep.
Might not even be 10 months.
Have they clarified if he will maintain a neutral alignment?
No. They haven't. Now, when you look at like the lore side of him, technically he was a lot more neutral then than he was during Rebels. Rebels, he did seem to help the Rebels a hell of a lot more.
Yeah, well, but I don't know if that's out of any sympathy for the Rebels, but I think he even he would recognize that supporting the Empire that ultimately wanted absolute control isn't really good for his kind of business.
Yeah. The main one for me is you look at how he was back then. It was all about the money.
Mhm.
It was, which is the thing that I want to do more? Well, it gives me money. Well, there you go then. He
Asher's
is,
saying that he's going to be dark side. Where is that confirmed, Asher?
Hmm.
yeah, in game you can't confirm dark or light. I am currently seeing if I can find anything. And it's like even the info screen on him in the title, it's in brackets dark side.
Okay.
Is it? Fair enough. Fair enough.
In the bracket of the
But
post, it is in bracket. Yeah, right.
but yeah, if he's dark side, he's dark side. He
Interesting.
he still has the epitome of I'm
No,
in it for money.
he is right.
Okay.
Here it is. Dark side.
Interesting.
Pirate King
There
of
you go.
Dark, dark side. Good pick, Asher.
Good show.
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely still in that grey area even then, because it's literally, oh look, you offer me more money. Okay, I'll do it. And it's that moment of fuck.
Is he dark side
Wait.
because Ahsoka was light side, or
Probably, and
is that what?
also
Yeah, they've got some
it's
fascination
probably
or
just
OCD-ness that dark side, light side needs to be balanced or whatever.
it might be that. It also just might be that for a variety of reasons, it's probably easier to balance him
Yeah.
if he's just one alignment.
It's also, yes, they've brought in one character, which we are talking about of Hondo, of being neutral. How many times has it been a case of you've seen him wanting to be used in teams and you go to select a datacron and you go, none of that fucking shit applies to him.
One of the
Doesn't
things,
matter, dark side or light side, congrats, doesn't fucking apply.
one of the comments that was in the kit reveal for Ithano, will kits be updated to say can't be copied, dispelled, prevented, or stolen? What are your thoughts on that?
That is a good point.
Because that's
Because you're gonna
copy
have
and dispelled
locked
is
buffs.
exactly what stolen is, right? Is copying and then dispelling in a roundabout way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will it cover
But that
that?
means if they don't do that, you could steal like JML's like buff when they go when he ultimates.
I think at that point the buff becomes locked. Like before he ultimates, the buff that's on his allies
Oh
may
yeah,
be
that
able to be
yeah.
stolen.
Okay.
It's gonna be an interesting one. They probably do need to do that. They probably do need to update the kit to make sure that we aren't looking at it. Because you can guarantee if they don't, and it is possible to steal some ridiculous buff, we will find a way of abusing it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it'll be a funny thing for a couple of weeks, and then they'll actually fix their game, and we won't be able to do it anymore.
They're pretty accepting of some things that you could pretty reasonably call an abuse. Like, Mother Talzin versus Jabba works to this day.
Yeah.
Womp tried that like literally
Yeah.
half an hour ago.
Yeah, I got down to Jabber only, but Mother Townsend hadn't died and Asajj had. And it
Yeah,
was a
I
case
had that
of,
situation earlier this season too.
it's like somebody was saying, oh yeah, revive what's it, and then Mother Townsend will die. And it's like, doesn't always work. You can
Yeah.
lose Merrin. And it's a game of, it's either going to leave you in a really nice spot where you've killed the sides and Jabba, or you've just killed the sides. If you've got a solo Jabba, well, okay, Imp Troopers go punch.
So then the next step to the whole can't be copied, dispelled, prevented thing, was actually came through in the update. One of the known issues is the buffs gained through steel mechanic do not apply to quests or feats. Were we expecting them to?
Oh. If that's a known issue, they would probably want that to work then.
Okay.
That
So
you can
are you
steal
thinking
it
that
for
in
quests
Conquest?
and it might.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the next conquest, I would expect something where we have to steal buffs or apply buffs that are stolen.
I'm not liking this Womp Rat where you're throwing ideas out there.
I
good.
don't like the idea of that either because remember, I like to red crate on my baby account.
Can we figure
That
out
is
who
just
the
going to be
intern
instant
is?
no.
Can we figure out who the intern is and just block him for the rest of the episode or something?
Unfortunately, the intern has multiple accounts. He just appears. You know
Okay.
this.
Maybe it's Asher. Hey, see, he said.
Yeah, see, he's admitted to it now.
All right.
Very
Right.
sneaky.
Yeah.
Asher, just turn your ears off for a bit, please.
All right. Anything else on the kit? I mean, it's nothing really
Nah.
until we know anymore. Until we have more. All right.
No.
So this was the update from 25th. So obviously the raids come out. We'll have a chat about that. So CX2 is now farmable on light side 3C hard. It replaces the OG Stormtrooper, but you can get that in the Cantina shipments. Scorch is in chromiums and shipments. Night Trooper is accelerated. There's some other bugs and adjustments there. Is there any there that stood out as needing to be mentioned? Temple Guard's captive doesn't go away if he dies. CX2's
Yeah, but they
focus.
just fixed that, I think, in the latest update here just the other day. I want to say that's fixed
this
now.
one.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
CX2 focused and determined at tier 7 will properly query the Empire allies instead of the Clone Trooper and Lord Vader as described. Communication might not be Scorch's strong suit. Fixed an issue where Scorch's basic ability would dispel ally buffs in addition to debuffs. Fixed a bug where sometimes Jocasta Nu would be defeated prior to using It's Up to You now.
Like,
Anything worse?
I'm going to be honest. Like, when I've looked at the known bugs, a lot of these are jumping out at me for 5v5, and they're not jumping out at me for 3s.
Okay.
I'm sat there thinking, does this make a difference for 3s? Not massively. Does it make a difference for 5s? Oh, fuck yes. So I've got a feeling we'll probably, the next update, which will be Conquest update, we will likely get the whole thing sorted for them because they won't want it affecting 5s because 5s is the game mode a lot of us do enjoy. A lot of people do play this game for 5s.
Sure.
So yeah, I think that's when we'll get a lot of the little bug fixes because it's quite common that we get those bug fixes then.
All right. So it has their Honda requirement news. Captain Ithano will be Relic 5. Relic 3. Relic 3, not 5.
Yep.
Okay, so that rolls into the raid. Just kind of, you guys know that it started? Like, this thing that's happened? Like, all the content creators are like posting 73 videos an hour and it's like a constant stream of information.
Yep.
Like, I am doing my stream for it later today. And
So
I know it's
Brad's going to
dull.
be on the train.
I know it's dull, but what I'm doing is I'm going to record each fight individually. They're going to be logged. So then no other content creator has to do any work. They just go to me. Can I use these videos? Yes. They're not going to have overlays. They're literally just going to be, here is the link for them. Here is the PDF for them that tells you the video name that you're looking for the fight that you want. That's it. Nice, easy for anybody that is like, say Tass says, oh, I want to do a video, but I haven't got X, Y, and Z set up. Done. I've got the video.
I see Tassanex smiling there like he's overly excited to do some raid videos.
Yeah.
No, not me. I've already done my raid attempts. Good score. I had 3 full Relic 9 teams, so that was, over 10 million just from that. Yeah, it's all right.
So you're not even. Are you even gonna like your guild will max crate without the pirates?
Without what?
The pirates.
Without the pirates.
10 and 10 something million's all you need, right? If everybody averages that.
I guess I don't even pay attention to the raid score. I just try to beat the brakes off my individual score every time. I would imagine that it is possible to max crate it without that faction. Yeah.
So you need 10.2 million per person average. If you're already over that,
guilds.
Yeah,
it's doable. And I think there is going to be a lot of the larger guilds that will blast through that.
Yeah.
Well, that's literally the first raid, and he's already gone past what is needed.
Yep. Which is where it's are you going to invest further into pirates, knowing that you don't need them for the raid? That is the question there.
Well,
yeah, my interest, I mean, I will be getting them probably for use in Grand Arena, right? And then Relic 8 is kind of the minimum for a character that I'm trying to use in Grand Arena these days. Like in the top bracket of the game, most everybody's running all Relic 9 everything. So Relic 8 is a reasonable minimum, and only if I really need it for raid would I take it to Relic 9 from there. We'll see. Or depending on how good the team is in Grand Arena.
So you're not really getting them for the raid, but more just because it's the newest thing. It's, to add to the collection.
Yeah. I'm getting it for the same reason that I got Jedi Vanguard, because it's there. Like, what else am I going to go after? My account's almost 16 million. There's not a lot left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. That's interesting, because I would never have thought of it that way, that you will get them, but not because of the raid. It'll just be a bonus side tangent, basically.
Yeah.
It is that moment. If you can guarantee whatever tank it is for for this team is going to go to R9, that is just pretty much a given, because it's the tank and it benefits the most from it. The rest of the team leaving it at 7, 8. I'm only planning to take them up to 7. I'm not planning on going higher than that on the big account. And it's yeah, okay, so it's meant to be Relic 3 for unlocking Hondo. And I'm going to be using it in GAC. It's going higher.
Okay. It's interesting. All right, so what do we want to say about the raid?
I guess this is the whole thing, right? This is the full raid. It is. The couple animations you get are slick, but it seems really, really simple. It seems really, really stripped down.
Versus Vader, and he somehow changes the lightsaber from left hand to right hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that when you hit his enrage and everything, but that's it.
Everything
You
else
get
looks
your
really good.
opening animation, and then if you enrage him, that's kind of cool to see. But
Mike,
you know,
Yeah.
Mike, stop being what's it towards people that are ambidextrous. Obviously,
Oh.
Vader was ambidextrous.
I have no problems with him swapping hands, but how did he do? He doesn't move his hands. The lightsaber is it? Maybe it's the Force. Maybe his Jedi mind tricked the lightsaber to move across hands or something. I guess that's theoretically
See,
possible, but yeah.
it's not a bug; it's a feature.
Okay.
And secondly, it's not a feature; it's just Jedi mind tricks.
But it doesn't really move. It moves instantly. It doesn't move fluidly across. But
Yeah, teleportation can be achieved.
sure.
It's just you'll want to believe it.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on like time it takes for a run?
So there's only one person that's properly done the radar, which is
I'm
Tass.
sorry. What's the question though?
How
Sorry, I
long
missed that.
time wise?
Was
Like
it quicker?
Naboo took like 20 minutes a run,
It's
right?
less time. It's less time than Naboo. Like it depends on how well equipped your teams are and whatnot. But I was able to, cut right through with my 3 Relic 9 teams. It's just a matter of what do you do for the last 2 teams? Because you kind of got hodgepodge. So it's really what can you cobble together in the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how long did you sit and try and test things, or did you just go in, do your 3 battles, get the max scores, and then?
So you figure for the clones, who's going to use any of the other dark side clones? So I used the whole team. As far as the Bad Batch team goes, I know that Fatal was able to pull it off without Batcher because he didn't want a Relic 9 Batcher. I respect that, and he got his 3.6. It works. I did have Batcher, so it was an easier 3.6. But I don't know where you'd be using Batcher otherwise if you had him, clearly I don't need to use him. But what else are you doing with that character? So I was just using the full teams. And then what was the last one? Jedi Vanguard. That's just a complete stomp. Again, probably don't need the full team. And you do actually have a couple other, Galactic Republic and or Jedi Vanguard characters that you might make a B team out of. So my suspicion is try and get the Jedi Vanguard team down to like 3 people. That would be my guess.
So the team that I've been made aware of to test is Mace, Balaba, Temple Guard. In theory, can max out.
Okay.
It's rough, but you can do it. And then you've got like Beck, Jolie, and Ayla for the other 3-man, which, if they're already 8 or higher, that's a damn decent score.
Mm-hmm. MJ in the chat saying that folks have already maxed the raid with just that 3 you mentioned. So
yeah,
it's definitely out there.
It doesn't look like there's a lot of like remodding required compared to Naboo, where we had to do quite a bit of characters needing to be certain sort of offense or whatever to get the required. Definitely doesn't feel like that's needed at this stage, at least. That's something you guys have. I haven't seen a lot of people going, "Oh, you need to mod for exactly 11,000 offense, and they need to be, 312 speed or anything like that." Most of the stuff's been pretty. I am
enjoying
mods.
that. I am enjoying that a lot. That is all being sorted. And
yeah, it'll be days before it's all common knowledge to us. The best break.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else you thought sort of worth noting? Are you enjoying it, I guess? That's probably
Well, here's the thing, like animation wise, a couple animations are cool, but somehow like it's less visually impressive to me than the Naboo raid. And I mean, at least with Naboo, you had, every time you had to go up to the spaceship, you had that neat little transition. You had animations for each one of the abilities used on the ship. Like, I know that later on in the raid, you're not really paying attention to that. Like later in the life of the raid, you don't care about it. But I don't know. I do feel like after how bad the speeder bike raid felt, because that was just an eyesore. Then you have Naboo, which was, I know a lot of people complain about how time consuming it was, but like visually, it was just stunning. This one it's okay. It's okay. Like I'll say this, it's better than speeder bike raid. Nothing is an eyesore to look at. It's just, kind of boring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
The main thing for me is CG have actually listened and are respecting our time. That is the biggest thing I take away from it is congrats, I can just do what I need to do and get fucked. I could not give a shit about anything else.
Mhm.
So, yeah, it's nice.
I've heard
I agree.
a few people sort of say like 3-minute sort of runs sort of thing. So even if you're having to rerun a few times, Naboo was like 15 minutes, something stupid, right? So you sort of got 5 attempts before you get to that one for Naboo. And Naboo was very RNG where you could get to the end phase and get double what is it? Charged or whatever, and you just get fucked over and then have to start it all over again, right? So
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a positive. And that's something we really need to emphasize that we're really happy about so that CG understand that we appreciate them giving a shit.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Credit given where credit due.
Absolutely.
It's like, we bash, all of us here will bash them when they do fuck up. And it is, at some point, they will fuck up.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, is this a good thing for respecting our time? Fuck yes.
Yeah.
Like, changing it from, I need about an hour to do a raid, to I need 20, 25 minutes to do a raid. Okay, I can accept that.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, it doesn't seem to be overly complicated. Yeah. Obviously there's always going to be the people complaining about, there's lots and lots of
Everything.
marquees and stuff like that, but yeah, that's the game, right? Everybody, they want us to get new characters. It's a hero collector. Kind of, that's what we've signed up for, right? Yeah. So I don't think that that's something we can be complaining about. If the raid was shit, which I don't think it is, but if it was, all power to them. Complain, but I really can't see a lot you can even pick on, let alone complain about. So yeah.
I think there's entirely just too many whiners. Like there's large sections of the social media community for this game that I cannot bring myself to engage with because I refuse to take people seriously for having just terrible opinions. Like not liking the new system for marquees. Like, are there more characters scheduled to come out than in years of old? And therefore, you're thinking, oh man, if I'm already a whale, it's getting so much more expensive. It's like, do you not understand? Like, it costs you like
A third of the
$100
price.
basically a hundred between $100 and $120 to have a 7-star on its new release. Olden days was between 300 and 400 for
Yeah.
just the shards, and you
Yeah.
got nothing else with that.
Yeah.
You just got the shards. You didn't get any gear. You didn't get any. They didn't have Omicron materials back then, but you didn't get anything like that. And so, to have to sit there and see threads of people arguing about the varying levels of unfairness within the new episode system. And then you got people saying, "Oh my God, you see how they have the new episode pass character?" is required at 7 stars to max out the episode. It's like, you don't have to max out the episode anymore to get all the rewards from the track. People read, just read.
And like even that, we've had like, what are we on, like the third one now? How have you not discovered, like even just pure luck, have you not seen that you don't need to do them because you get to level 50 on the fucking 15th day or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Even if you're free to play, there is multiple days of that bonus node. Yeah.
It's never been more generous, never been easier to acquire new characters. It's a third to a quarter of the cost, to say nothing of the little bits that they give you to help along the way with the rewards and stuff. Just, it's outrageous, the people that complain about the modern state of the game.
Well, not only that, if you get, what is it, if you buy the gems, use gems and get the 5 full card thing, you can get enough shards to then do the error battles or whatever. Yeah, the error battles, which then pump you up over the next, month and a half or something. So not only have they made it cheaper to get to that point, but then they've given you extra free shards after the events, the marquee's done. So you then end up sort of somewhere in that like 5, maybe 6 stars if you've gotten really lucky, before they even come into like being able to use gems to buy, the soft whaling or however you want to call it, let alone then coming into being farmable. So you might have been on like 25 shards or something, 50 something, 12 months ago. You're now going to be like 150 shards through. So, yeah.
I'll be honest, and this is a very good take, that the way that marquee system now is, even my baby account is in the hundreds to go. Like the last tier. Every single time it's, well, I've just got the last one to do.
Yeah. And like even with the
not a problem.
What do you buy, the 5 Omicron pack and then the pack that comes after it, you no risk error pass and those 2 packs, no risk at all, no gambling, gets you 7 stars at the end of the event. You haven't got to fluke a 200 or 150 shard pull or anything. It's guaranteed. There's no chance at all of it not working. I just, CG are making money out of us. They're doing it for a reason, but it is working and is in favor of us as well. Anyway, sorry, bit of a rant.
Yeah, my only downside to it, and the only downside is when it's, if you wanted to whale your way through and day one get the character, you are gonna have to spend a lot anyway. But those are the type of guys that have been playing this game long enough, and they played back when a character was costing 400. Even doing that, you're still probably looking at 150. You're still substantially cheaper. Because you also get shards as you go through. So, oh look, I get to 6. I'm going to get it to 6 star before doing the event. I've now got 55. I've got 10 per level that I do. Automatically, you're there and you go in, okay, well, 150 quid later, well, I'm done.
Yeah, but if you're getting to 7 stars on day one, you're getting all those higher tiers that I only sort of get to on the last day. And they've got crystals and they've got relic materials.
Yep.
Zetas, I think. There's definitely an Omicron towards the end there somewhere. But all of those will add up to give you something back for getting there on day one. So not only is it cheaper than it was in the past, you also get bonuses for getting there on day one. So that's, I get it. It's a little negative, but it's a lot better than what it was. Like, it's still a lot of money when you sort of think about it,
Yeah.
but it's a perspective thing,
Like-
right?
I mean, this anybody spending money on this game should know at least that any of that money should be luxury, right?
Yes.
So the point is, it's like I refuse to take people seriously that would say that no, paying between a third and a quarter of what you were already paying to do the same thing is bad for reasons. Refuse to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the thing that gets me with it is like I will pay the $100 to get mine to 6-star day one. I'll then spend maybe 3 or 4 packs worth of crystals just to squeeze it in a few days early. Because if I get it even 2-3 days early, the stuff it gives me is worth it. I'm sorry, but it's the way this game is. It's sometimes a horrible thing that we do have to spend to be the top of what you want to do. But it's like, what do you expect? If you want to be the best in anything at all, it's never just skill. Like you can be the best player in the world and be trapped down in bloody the bottom end of Kyber just because you're not spending money. And congratulations, you can't be the best because you're not going to have the new toys to play with. The guys with the new toys to play with are going to kick your ass.
What do you think of that,
Granted,
Tass? Because you are like top 10, 15 regularly. How much would you emphasis or weighting would you put on the money side of things? Do you think it is possible to sort of stay up there as a free to play, or?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty well free to play. So right now I'm just trying to stay in the top bracket in the game. And to be there free to play is something where it can be done. Others have done it before. It's just hard to stay. It's just hard to stay. Can you break in? Yeah. Can you win in there? Yes. But you are constantly having to roll that boulder up the hill. Um, you can get washed out of the top bracket pretty easily. But to say, I don't want to undersell what an achievement that would be to be competing in the top bracket as a free to play. Yeah, absolutely. There are players that can so. I am typically spending enough money to have the new character releases hit 7-star at the end of their original marquee release. It's very rare that I would ever spring for the full 7 stars on day one. So that is money that I do regularly spend. I do buy the Era Pass. I don't really need to, but it doesn't hurt me to buy the Conquest Pass, just the $10. I just buy the $10 just for the little extra rewards. Probably again, don't need it now because I've got something like 18 Omicrons in the bank with every Omicron in the game currently applied. So probably don't need to be doing that.
Yeah.
But as far as routine expenditure, you've got that for Conquest, you've got the characters, and then for Conquest, for getting datacrons, I'm just farming through the 100s every day, and I will say that I've hit a couple bottlenecks on some crons where I do want to buy some reroll materials. So I'll say that for a given set of datacrons, I'll probably have something like a 5,000 crystal budget for buying reroll materials for select crons that really need it.
Okay.
I don't think any of that is behavior that a dolphin couldn't really match. I guess I guess it is whaley to have the new character at the end of the marquee event because it's still about 120 bucks. That's not nothing for pixels. But yeah, I don't really spend money on like big money. I'd say, maybe like 20 bucks worth of crystals, I guess. Optimizing datacrons just by farming through the 100s every day during Conquest. I'm able to have a full inventory of level 9 datacrons historically. Now with focus datacrons, I'm probably getting 5 or 6 less level 9s from that set to make sure that I have probably 3 out of every 4 focus datacrons maxed out. That seems like that might be a trend. You didn't need this set 21 to have all of the max, nor do you here with set 22. So I expect to maintain that kind of pattern. I think all of that can be done free to play. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I saved the big money for new hats. That's right, Steve. Yeah, so because I'm usually having something like 300-ish rerolls with 2 Datacron sets active and mature at the same time that my opponents are having 500, 700, over 1,000 rerolls, unironically. So that's what I'm saying. Like that is more like a free to play ish number
At,
of
at 1,000
rerolls.
rerolls, would it not just be better just to delete the cron and start again? Like it.
No, because you're talking about guys that are trying to have every cron that they will place on defense having not just all defense roles, but maximized defense roles.
Right.
So you're talking about somebody who already has like a middling defense role on that level 8 stat, and that isn't quite good enough. And it's expensive to re-roll that 80 cost level 8, but when you got it like that, not worried about it. And I don't got it like that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not trying to do that.
Whereas I'm like, yeah, it's got defense. It's 40% defense. Yeah.
If I strike on a cron that happens to have some decent defense rolls in the beginning, that one gets a lot of attention for me, right? You'd like to make that into a somebody because you really only need 2 or 3 of those per Datacron meta, and you will have an outsized effect on the board, right?
Yeah.
Like Leia Drogan R2 has been a staple for wherever you see Exile Ezra, whether that's with Rey or with Ahsoka. Man, just the other day I fought Sasha's Rey, Swallow, Exile Ezra, having a set 22 cron with high defense on it, super high defense. And Leia didn't do anything. Let me think about this. My Queen Amidala didn't do anything. And Seer Malicos was on defense, but I looked up the win rate. It's like 9% or 6% against that type of setup.
Yeah.
So again, you can just have 2 or 3 high defense crons like that, and it will just transform the experience. And for that type of endeavor, that's why I can justify like spending like 10, $20 a Datacron set on reroll materials in addition to whatever I get out of TW to try and have like 2 or 3 crons like that. So aside from the spending to have the new characters, and then what I just described, just spending a little extra on crystals for reroll materials, everything else is free to play doable. It is.
Yeah.
Been doing it for years now.
Okay.
But that's also the thing. If you are completely free to play, you are not going to play the catch up now to people that are already in the end game. You needed to have been playing long enough to have caught up.
Yeah, I was thinking more if someone was in that sort of Kyber 1 area and decided to go free to play, are they just out? Like, is there any chance at all?
They would be able to hang around for a good while, but it is slowly going to get harder and harder to hang around in there. It's not going to be impossible.
Yeah.
But there is going to be a point where you turn around and you go, I can't stay here. I am going to fall into Kyber 2, and eventually that will lead to Kyber 3. It's going to take time, but the better the player is, the longer they are going to hang around.
How many people are in Kyber 1 at the moment, do we know?
1,000 again, still? It's around 1,000.
How do I tell? You go to the ranking and then top of Kyber 2 would then be whatever their ranking is -1?
Pretty much.
Yeah, no?
There is an easier way of doing it, but I can't remember it.
All right. Not really a big deal. But yeah. Yeah, okay.
I will say, you can be a very skilled, really well optimized roster like that is free to play and make it up to the top of the game. But yes, where you will get the most pressure and probably will get squeezed out to no fault of your own is like here we are at the last 5 versus 5. You've got week 3 where the Krakens have already bought themselves 4 or 5 level 9 Datacrons from the set that hasn't even come out in the next conquest yet. It's only available in the whale store, or shard shop store, but then you have to level it up with materials that you have to whale for.
Whale
So
stall.
yeah, it's whale food. And so you're thinking, you're lean and mean and everything, but they just straight up have a host of stuff that you don't have. And then by the time you meet them in week 1 of 3 versus 3, they've muscled up from there. You've got maybe most of what they had in that last week of 5 versus 5. Now going into the first week of 3 versus 3. They might already have a full roster of level 9s and all the focus datacrons. Is it impossible for a free-to-play player to win such a circumstance? No. It's improbable.
Yeah. It's just gonna, like I said, is slowly over time, as the game progresses, you are going to become in a situation where you are now pushing uphill, and that boulder is no longer a boulder, it's a fucking mountain about to squish you. Because at some point it is gonna be you can't win. It's not you can't end of it. It's more you can't because there's just too much shit to deal with.
The Rhodium
And as
players,
long
how many of them have we got in the higher end of Kyber 1 at the moment? Is it still really
Tass
bad?
loves fighting them. Tass loves fighting them.
I mean, it's something that I'm so far beyond having accepted at this point, it is what it is. Like I streamed TJ's match last night because if I did, I would have had nothing to stream. I had an Erodium. For the same reason, later today I'll be streaming one of my patrons, Striker. He's got a good match here in the top 50. So I try and give the people something to watch. But yeah, I am long since
Didn't you do one of
having accepted
TJ's
this is life now.
last round as well? Or last week?
Every week, it's just about every week that I'll have at least one. Unless I'm in a position where I'm going 3-0 and then I'm getting all real players, and even then, that's not the case. Because last week I lost round 1 to Rockstar, won round 2 versus Sasha, and then had an Erodium round 3, and we had 2 Erodiums in the bracket, which means that the 2 Erodiums matched up in round 1, and I fought the winner.
The winner.
Yeah. So it's just a comedy. At least it's not squeezing me out of the top bracket, because that stuff is that'll get you down. That will get you down when the Erodium bug kicks. Like losing because your account's undersized, it doesn't feel great. But there is nothing that will grind your gears quite the same way as starting, let's say, at rank 10 for the week. Then you go 3-0 for the week. And then because Erodiums flood in for the next week's matchmaking, you end up rank 15 starting the next week. So you will go 3-0 in a week and place at a lower rank than when you started the week prior. That can happen to you. It hasn't happened to me in a while, but that can happen.
See, I wouldn't notice it at my level because I'm, 1500. I'm in the middle of Kyber 2, right? But it's a big deal to you because your 5 is an obvious number because there's your top 15, top 20, right? Even like one difference is going to be noticeable. And for some random dude to come in that's, played for the first time in 3 or 4 years, yeah, I don't know. Such a perplexing idea that they thought that was a good idea, but yeah.
We laugh about it because I've had a couple of Erodians falling through.
Yeah, but
now
we're
my
laughing
account
at
is
it, but
right.
Tass is not laughing at it. He's not laughing in the slightest.
My account's right constantly on the edge of going into Kyber 1, then it'll drop to Kyber 2, just because I'm facing quite strong opponents, which is great. But it's that moment of it feels so wrong when you get them because it's like, I've got to clear you because number one, I want the currency and it is minimal, but you're burning through it anyway because of bloody mods. And you're sat there going, at some point soon, they need to fix this shit. Because this is basically just giving me the match. There is nothing they can do. And it's that moment of, do I change my defense from last round? No. Because they're not clearing it. Scout me, I dare you. You're not clearing it.
Actually, that's one thing, because obviously Bones is busy. So I've actually been really getting into the whole, like, chess game of, like, I mean, it's not a very hard chess game at the moment. You put SLKR with the Dark Side Raycon down the bottom and shit in the back. If they can get through that Dark Side Cron, let them, right? But I'm really enjoying the whole where is their SLKR? I'm enjoying that game. So, yeah, it's been. I'm starting to get. I never really liked GAC a lot, but yeah, it's sort of like I'm enjoying it a little bit at the moment. So just wait until I have like 3 or 4 losses in a row. Bottom of Kyber 1, I get mashed up with like 15, 16 million accounts and 73 level 9 datacrons, and I just go, all right, well, this is the week off.
Well, you know what we need to do at some point, Tass, is teach him how to scout.
I know how to scout. It's just I've never really taken a lot of time to sit down and do it. But now I'm starting to like, maybe it is time for me to start doing it and changing defenses all the time. And yeah.
I'll be honest, like, after going through it with Tass, learning it there, and then expanding it so that I'm now looking at what you use to attack, what you mess up on, and all the lovely parts of it. I can craft some horrible defenses where we've seen it where people have dropped 5 battles in the back against Tuscans because I know you're going to struggle with them. And then I've taken everything off you that you would usually use on Tuscans. So you're there going, what the fuck do I use now? And it is that moment of enjoy failing on Tuscans or enjoy failing on Phoenix because for some unknown reason last season I had 3 people that couldn't beat Phoenix. So 5v5s, oh look, Phoenix in the back. That's gonna happen. That's gonna happen.
Okay.
With that cron as well. Yeah, that's gonna break your brain a little bit. So
All right.
it's one of those. GAC scouting is fun. And when you take it to the level that I take it to, and I know Task goes a level beyond that, it can get absolutely busted as hell.
All right. I might
Like,
sit down with you one day and look into it a bit more. I sort
yeah,
of do a little bit of sort of more see what they have been putting on defense, but not playing the whole chess game of like, all right, well they suck at beating this team, so let's put that in somewhere. I haven't really taken it to that level, so yeah.
It's fun, man. I will say, over the years, metas come, metas go, and people ask like, how do I feel about it when this is here, or that is here, and oh, it's this bad meta because it's high efficiency, or it's this bad meta because there's teams that if you get RNG'd out, then your match is over. It's like in all circumstances, I can have fun playing my opponent, you know, because they're doing what they're doing regardless of the meta. They're all trying to swim the same way I am. So watching where they can get the job done and watching where they struggle, that never gets old.
right. The thing that I have loved with scouting is when you do find that opponent where you know full well you cannot win. There is no way you can, because what they're placing on defense, you sit there and you go, I actually don't have an answer. I know I can clear one wall. And I sit there and I go, you know what? I'm going to make sure I can clear your wall. It's a set wall. I know I can get through it. But you're not taking a single fucking wall off me. And you drop everything on defense that you know they struggle with. And you set it in such a way where it's like all the choices are together and you're sat there going, what do I do now? And you just watch them slowly attack it and watch them get stuck on your front wall. And you go, I can only clear one. And I don't give a shit because you're not clearing me either. And it is that really nice feeling. It is really funny to do.
It's true. Yeah, win or lose, I can always be satisfied by scouting.
It does make a difference, though. And it's probably the one thing that both you and I would say to anybody, regardless of where you are, is fucking scout. So,
Well, what I would say is, you know, it's a game. Like play it the way that you want to play it, that you're going to be successful at. Like if you want to win, scouting does help, but there are really successful players that don't scout, and I can't say for sure. My guess would be that they might win a little bit less than if they availed themselves of that intel. But there's players like Fatal and others that have a point of view about how they want to play the game, and that's how they enjoy it, and that's what keeps them going. I'd say whatever makes you enjoy the game. Like some folks, it's a frequent thing. People in Twitch chat will say, I like what you're doing here, Tass, but this isn't for me. I could never see myself going to this type of effort. It's like, I get that. I do this and I enjoy spending, an hour plus scouting an opponent. It'll definitely be more than an hour if it's like a top matchup versus Sasha or Aesop or something like that. If you don't enjoy that, then yeah, why would you be trying to turn this game into work for you? I wouldn't be doing it either. So no problem. I mean, but if you don't scout and you're not satisfied with the results that you're pulling, reconsider.
So
it is.
obviously don't give away secrets, right? But without giving away the secrets, how much would you change from one round to the next? Like 1 week of GSC to the next one? Is this like remodding maybe one team, or are you thinking big things happen every week, or?
I will be remodding throughout the week based on lessons learned in individual matches, right? Like learning that I need a certain character to be a little faster, knowing that, damn, I have a crit avoidance arrow on a character that it no longer makes sense and that should be a protection arrow instead. Little things like that I find all the time, and I'm updating all the time.
But it's not like specific to your opponent. It's more a general.
Well, I don't remod for individual opponents unless it's the type, like remodding for an opponent means that I have to have certainty that I'm fighting them the next week. And if that's the case, like I used to, when I was super sweaty for a couple different metas, like I would look where I was on the leaderboards and then scout the 8 people above me and the 8 people below me. And that way I had pretty high certainty that these were the only eligible players that I'd be running up against. And I had to make sure that for whatever meta it was, your slacker had to be faster than like a Lord Vader at a certain point for some reason. I can't remember, but like the idea of doing that to make sure that I'm not caught out in general for the week to come. Yeah, I'll make that if I really need to, but most of my tweaks are just generic improvements for what the team is for. It's not tailored to an opponent.
Okay.
Everything about how when I'm scouting, how I place the board. Most of the time I'm going to end up placing most of the same teams. But where they are and the 3 or 4 teams that might get rotation, it's all bespoke every time. Yeah. It's tailored to the opponent every time, and that's part of the fun of it. And some people are out there getting 2-1 and 3-0, just setting the same defense every week. So that's why I make the point. It's like, do I think that scouting is the best way to ensure the most wins? I do. But don't take it on my say so. Do it because you like doing it. Like that's the big reason to scout. Because otherwise, it's going to feel like work to do it the way that I do. Some people look at what I do and it's like I can't see myself doing it. I just want to log in and do it. Already takes long enough just playing Grand Arena. Why would I want to spend this kind of time? Blah 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 blah. It's like, completely get it. Completely get it. You gotta want to do it because you want to do it. Don't do it just because I'm saying it's gonna make you win more.
It's like
the first round of GAC for 3v3. This is the quick one while Brad just hanging shit on me.
Yeah.
Because Bones had done the last 3v3, so I went in and deleted all the 3v3 teams, set up the mods for 3v3, then said, I'll come back in and put the teams in, go look at .gg to see what sort of teams are doing well on defense last. And then I went into the first battle, first attack phase, went in and was like, holy shit, this guy's already got like 1,600 points. And then I went to see what he'd beaten on my side, and there was no defensive teams there. I forgot to put teams back in. So I was like, all right, well, lesson learned. And I'm the dickhead, and I admit that, and we made sure we put teams down for the second round. But
yep. We all have our dum-dums. I mean, the one time I brought in OG Bo-Katan instead of BKM. It's been a year. It's been a year plus since I did that shit again. So we all do our dum-dums, but trying to learn from them.
Yeah. Right. Sorry, Womprat. Go.
For me, week 1 of GAC is I completely blank my field and I make something custom. That will not change that week. It's usually got a load of shit I want to test. So, like, it'll have the Lord Vader team down. It'll have, even though we knew that it could be countered by Sidious, it still had the Tarkin team down all week. Exact same position all week because it's getting the information I want. That means week 2, my Tarkin team isn't there. My Tarkin team's buggered off somewhere. But week 2, I've made alterations absolutely every single round. I go in, I look at what you placed. I also run the same scout for your last 3v3. And the reason I do that is, did you change at all last 3v3? The answer's no. I can guarantee what you've set week 1, you've set week 2 and week 3. I just plan to pull that apart then.
That is one thing I guess I didn't cover. However successful a player might be not scouting, historically, when I come up against them, if you're going to set it and forget it, I'm going to eat your lunch. I'm going to eat your lunch. I will drink your milkshake right in front of you.
Yep. Give me your food. It is now mine. I do not care. And give me your Krispy Kreme donuts.
Give me your lunch
they are
money.
Mine. No, it's give me your Krispy Kreme donuts from the start.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
All the way round, guys. All the way back.
Yeah,
But
that's called a callback. All right.
But yeah.
Are we wanting to do viewer questions, or you got anything else you want to? I'm sort of mindful that Tass has jumped on and probably has better shit to be doing than sitting talking to us.
Don't worry. I'm at your disposal. You don't have you don't have to fight Mrs. T. I do, and I got special dispensation to be here. So I don't even think I have to fight Mrs. T.
Okay.
So you're good.
All right. You got any topics you want to talk about?
I'm at your disposal. Okay. I mean,
that's the topics, really. So now we're at the point where
the only thing that's annoying me right now is how unreliable Fighting Slacker is. That's the only thing.
I did it earlier, and it is that moment of right. Fingers crossed, legs crossed, toes crossed. Please don't fuck up, JMK.
So what Yeah, I've been using JMK, and am I just like I'm not the greatest GAC player, so am I just being lucky
You're,
that I've won 3 out of 3
yeah.
times, or
So it turns out what we thought was the case of fives, mace. Yes, they have priority target. They are going to probably take that first poke. The second poke that may not be taken, and also they're not priority targets for Darkside Ray, Cat is. So you could just randomly lose Cat
how
and
come?
go, oh fuck.
What's the team you guys are using for JMK?
Yeah, it's JMK, Cat, and fives with the Hoda focused Datacron.
Yeah.
And specifically, the reason for fives is just because he has elevated AI targeting priority from Slacker. So as long as he's alive, he will be
Yeah.
getting Slacker's focus, so you don't have to worry about him stabbing anybody else while he lives. Um,
Why?
that
Now,
being said, though, like I just lost a round the other night because it just so happened that we had basics from Dre put fear on Cat twice, pushing her cooldowns back twice. And then when we did have her cooldown available to smite, she was either A, under stealth, or B, my JMK short ult had expired and I was no longer able to avoid taunt. So you can just have a panoply of RNG just bust
yeah.
out on you in that fight. Because just the round prior, 57 banners, same counter, same setup. So, I'm generally willing to roll with the punches in this game. I'm not generally complaining about too much. But that said, I'm not a fan of. I could play the same fight the same way and have, entirely opposite outcomes. Don't like that feeling.
Have you? Well, I've been using Mace because Mace is the other great option.
Mhm.
But we had a look on .gg before, and actually Mace is a slightly higher win rate now.
Not at Relegate Plus. No, that's not true. At
Oh,
Relegate Plus with the Hoda Datacron, assuming Relegate Plus for everybody on the board,
yeah.
and assuming their Omicrons are, all the Omicrons and everything that can be applied or applied. The win rate for fives is up to 20% higher than Mace. So Mace can do it because I don't want to tell you that you can't. If you really need your fives elsewhere, people are being successful with Mace. But Mace can be chosen to be stunned by Slacker. He will not always be chosen to be stunned. I've seen him choose to poke JMK, and that's kind of the best of both worlds where nobody gets stunned. And I've also seen him poke Cat, and you lose momentum, potentially lose the fight, not necessarily. Like the big reason to take fives is the certainty of Slacker's targeting. You can win the fight with Mace, and there could be the rare circumstance that while Mace is stunned, when he gets that full first turn meter bar and it expires, if Dre's under stealth, he will pull her out of stealth, which might give you a free smite. That is the mechanical benefit of bringing Mace. But the issue I think most people are wanting to avoid is having Slacker stun anybody else except the tank. I mean, if you could ensure that he's stunned JMK, but I don't think that you can. I don't think that you can.
I also think it's partly down to whether you've got KRU or what the third is in that team. If KRU's in the team, I think Mace might be a little bit better than what's it because he has a reactionary taunt. So it could potentially screw up KRU, which means you might get through it safer. But at the same time, as you said, you can literally just suddenly have the RNG go, nah, fuck you. And it's over.
Yeah, my experiences, like my loss that I just described, would have happened with either Mace or JMK. Because if you
Yeah.
watch the fight, so right where fives has his full turn meter bar exhaust, Dre, follows that up with another basic. So she did basic and feared my Cat. Then fives took his turn, triggered her bonus turn. which had her fear my cat again, and that would have happened whoever the tank was. And then that double basic flurry caused Slacker to ultimate, caused her to reset her lightning, and then she lightning. Same sequence would have happened the same way.
And that would have been the end of whoever.
Yeah.
Because you'd have
So
still lost Cap.
so there are benefits depending on which tank you bring, but yeah, you can absolutely lose that fight for reasons that are not related to the tank.
So I've been using General Kenobi. And I'm like, you guys aren't even mentioning him in this conversation. And I'm like, what the fuck have I been doing?
So
how stupid is
just to
that?
give you the hint, because I've got it set up. I've got it set to a minimum of Relic 8. Mace is 70%. The fives is 73%, and General Kenobi is 60%.
So I've been really, really, really lucky.
Yeah,
Okay.
you've been lucky.
Yeah,
Right.
GK I remember trying early on, and yeah, link me your inside thing, because we looked at this for plotting and scheming for this week, and we saw that yeah, like Mace can get the job done, but fives was coming out on top, especially I think as you narrow the filters for the top 50. Again, that doesn't apply to everybody, but I can only speak about who I'm fighting. So I'm fighting people like top 50, top 10 grade. So it is what it
I'll
is.
have to send it to you once I've unplugged and replugged in my keyboard, because it's all lit up. It's just not responding.
Because we were seeing there could be differences, minor differences, but across all those teams that we were called looking up, Mace was like it's like this. It's like fives is here, Mace is here, GK is like down here, and everything else is completely unmentionable.
Yeah.
So like GK working for you is kind of lucky, because yeah, he does have higher AI priority to some characters, but I don't think Slacker's one of them, because he can ignore him and choose to stun Cat. I have seen it. The big reason for fives, again, is just to make sure he's drawing all of Slacker's focus.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think you could reasonably say Mace offers the most to help you. Like, if you're otherwise ready to smite and Cat and Dre is under stealth, Mace would, be a way for you to pull her out, possibly. But you would have to have his turn line up at the right time. And then remember, when he gets his turn, he will pull her out. But the act of him getting a turn will trigger her having a bonus turn. In which case, if the cooldowns are lined up, she could use third and put herself right back under stealth. So nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, you've got.
What should I be looking
really...
for, or what should people be looking for in the SOKR Dark Side? What are we worrying about?
The thing that I'm currently checking is seeing if they've specifically remodded their Dark Side Ray. Before this, Ray was in a speed set, usually with health, defense, something. If they have remodded their Ray and there is no speed set on her and it is a pure offense set, you know it is modded for that cron. And it is a terrifying moment, because there are Rays out there now with, I think yours is 14,000 offense. There is some.
No, mine's just below 11,000, but that's
11.
with 3 health primaries and a crit damage triangle. So
Yeah.
I have a lot of offense on the secondaries. But this way I have kind of like the best of both worlds. I can absolutely have higher offense if I went that way. Probably another 1,000, 1,500 more, something. But just having her be a bit thick is the way, and no particular emphasis on speed is required. All these bonus turns just it ruins the value of speed, right? Like, let's say you've almost got a full turn meter bar, you having all this speed on her, and then an enemy just takes a turn while you were at like 90% turn meter. You just got a bonus turn. That's 90% turn meter wasted. You know what I'm saying? So,
oh my god,
not going to be me.
Just a side note, SOKR is the featured character on the board, so I can see him standing there. He has a helmet on and one in his hand.
Fantastic.
It's like
That's our
double
man.
helmet.
Yep. He does like his extra helmets.
Amazing.
Like the thing for me is if you suddenly see in there even over 10k offense, it is a terrifying grey because that shit is just gonna hurt.
Over how much?
Over 10k. Like with a speed set, you're probably looking between 7, 8. Anything over 8 is starting to get scary. Once you breach 10k, it's like, oh, this is gonna hurt.
I've done something right then. Mine's 10,500.
But is
nice.
yours in a speed set?
No. I knew that to change it out of the speed set with all the bonus turns, but I just did offense and health and offense arrow, offense cross, crit damage triangle.
Sure. Yeah, very
Not a lot of
high
speed at
offense. And
all.
I mean, only if you. Yeah, I think the health primaries is a good stretch goal, but you want to have really strong offense on them. So I think until you have them, doing it the way that you have it right now is excellent.
Yeah. Like, there are. You do want the survivability for it. And that is going to make a difference in the fight because, oh, look, until Cat can get that insta kill off, she can't get that insta kill, it's going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you want her to have that ridiculous level of damage of, yeah, she's just going to eventually start to delete shit.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenobi will not save you then.
Here's it as another thing, right? If someone is scouting you, do they see the mods in GAC or do they see the mods that you currently have equipped?
They see the locked mods.
Okay. All right. Never mind. Because I was like, I've got like a generic mod set on Ray outside of GAC at the moment. It's the speed set and the defense, but inside has got the offense and the health. So
when you're scouting an opponent, you have no visibility about what they have currently equipped in GAC.
okay.
You can only see what they have on right now. And as you just said, there's not necessarily any relationship between them.
Okay.
I thought it was that you always saw.
I'm like, if I look up your ally code, what will I see?
You're seeing equipped. Yeah, if you're looking on SWGoH, you are seeing what is currently equipped to the characters.
Yeah.
I mean, presuming like there's a periodic refresh, a sync on the site that will update you. So there's a possibility that you could put yourself in loadout A, lock in, switch back to loadout B, and then there's a sync that hasn't happened yet where somebody could scout you and see the old mods. But otherwise, assuming that the SWGoH account is synced to the live version of the game, yeah, that's your currently equipped mods.
I mean, at my level, it's probably not relevant, but yeah, it's just a side thought.
If you want to deny, because when I am scouting people, I will pull up a SWGoH tab to look through their GAC history, and then I'll open a second tab to see their profile, and I'll go to their characters, and I'll sort all their characters by their overall speed, so I can see if there's any outliers, like why do you have a 380 speed Mara Jade? What purpose is that for? Something like that. I'll let my eye just scroll down a roster and look like that. And so if you want to put the works on somebody like me, then you could do like what Fatal does. Fatal has, he does all of his remods in Hot Util. So he'll have his mind on this loadout A, and he'll push that to his characters, lock in, then switch back to a special loadout that he's made. And I don't know if he still uses it the same way, but he used to have like a null loadout that would remove 1 or 2 mods from every character in the loadout. So it was quite impossible to be sure about how he was having key characters set up. He didn't do that to every character. He did that to, like, the key characters that you're thinking about. Your Mara Jades, your Bad Batch Echoes, your Exile Ezras, your stuff like that. All the ones where it's like, for the counter that I'd like to use, am I actually fast enough? Stuff like that. So
That's
you can
cool.
absolutely gain people if you're willing to go to some effort at it. I have always been of the mind that I'm always trying to perfect and improve my mods to the point that you can see me coming and no god will save you.
It's a good way to think about it, though.
Yeah.
That is definitely a fun way to think about it.
Like another,
Yeah.
like instead of playing chess, you're playing like 3D chess in that regard because you don't know where the actual board is, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah. Fatal puts in that effort to stymie scouters, and the few times that I've fought him, every time he's had that set up that way, and it's wise. It's wise. There's no reason why you shouldn't try to deny somebody like me that intel, because again, if I find that crack, I'm gonna jump right into that.
Yep. And this is the
Cool.
thing with scouting is it only gives you an advantage until your opponent starts to do it back. Because if they're starting to do it back and they're doing it as good as what you do, then you end up in a situation where it's like, shit, I've got to now deal with an issue of he's scouting me to alter his defenses to alter for me, and I'm scouting him, doing the exact same back to him. It's who can think ahead of the other and screw the other person over.
But would you not be in that same exact position if you didn't scout anyway? Because you wouldn't know what's coming. So realistically, scouting has no real negative because if you didn't scout, you wouldn't know what's coming and what to deal with. It's more that you have the chance to know what's coming and react to it, possibly.
Yeah.
I mean, even knowledge that you don't get to use or knowledge that's only halfway useful offers you half of an insight. Half of an insight is better than no insight. I
Yeah.
mean, just knowing that if I'm scouting Fatal and it's like, I want to try this, this counter, but to do that, I'll need to know that I have X character of mine faster than Y character of his. And then for each one of those teams, I'm seeing that he has mods pulled from every one of those characters. It's like, yeah, I got to be real careful here. I have to be a bit more conservative in my planning. Whereas if you hadn't scouted it, you would have proceeded with setting the defense that you had in mind anyway, not necessarily covering your bases for what you can't see, and then getting caught out when you walk right in to see their board. So even then, I'd say, like, not being able to get the full picture still tells you more than not checking.
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. Like, there's other than the time that it takes, that would probably be the only reason that'd be the only negative I could see is that if you haven't got the time to do it.
Yeah, that's a common
any
enough
information is
complaint.
better, right?
Yeah, that's a common enough complaint. I mean, here's what I'd say. If you're not familiar with using OmegaBot, you should check it out because anybody can use it for free. Patrons get to do cooler stuff with making out a report and stuff, but anybody can pull an OmegaBot report on their opponent's last week of Grand Arena history. And so you can be looking at it and you'll see the trend line. Like when you do that report and you use the current command, it's going to show only the current season. So I can pull a report right now showing any one of my opponents week one. And you can just see a trend. It's like, okay, I see 1, 2, 3 GLs on defense. This guy only set 3 GLs all last week. So I know he's attack heavy. Well, let me look at the rest of this graph and see, okay, he's always setting these teams for sure because they're 3 out of 3 on defense for last week. And I can see on the graph below for defenses by zone that he's always placing these same 5 teams or he's always placing these same 3 and rotating 2. But getting a sense of patterns like that, looking at an OmegaBot report will save you time because a lot of scouting would be you manually looking through how did they attack all 3 rounds? How did their opponents clear their defenses all 3 rounds? And you save a bunch of time just by looking at OmegaBot. And then when you're done looking at it, you'll have some questions, right? You're looking at it, say, oh, I see on the attack graph that he dropped twice using JMK. That had to have been against Slacker. I'll look at the SWGoH page and see how he did his JMK matches. Like when you're using that tool, you're coming up with questions because it's shortening the process, right? You're thinking about, oh, I see that little detail, that one, that one, that one. So by the time you're done looking at the report, you'll spend 5-10 minutes with that report. And now you go over to look at SWGoH with a list of questions that you have, as opposed to manually combing through the whole thing. Now you're like, oh man, I saw he dropped a couple times, or you can see easily on OmegaBot, he had these drops in round 3. So it's like, now I'm just going to go look at round 3 of last week. I don't have to comb the whole week. So, the way I like to scout, for most opponents, I can do it inside an hour. For top matches, I'll spend 3 or 4 hours doing it out of love for doing it. I don't need to spend no 3 or 4 hours. I like the haggling over it. I like, just drilling in on individual details for top bracket matches, stuff like that. But for just about everybody, in just about every circumstance, you can do a fine job of scouting out an opponent in an hour or less.
An hour seems realistic because you would spend an hour doing battles. So
Yeah.
Instead of doing 2 accounts, spend the time getting 1 account. Yeah.
I am very open. I do not scout for the baby account. I do not spend time on it. I usually plan its defenses for the week, and it drops new defenses every single week. For the big account, I scout, and I scout a lot. And it's like, as you said, sometimes it is a complete board change. Everything changes just because of the person you're against. And then other times it's like, well, I'm going to move this team here, and this team here. That's it. That's the whole change. So it can be one extreme to the other of, do I need to spend hours on this or do I need to spend 10 minutes? And as Tass said, OmegaBot changes how you use SWGoH. And when you're using that bit of it, it is literally, you go with about 10 questions instead of going, I've now got to go through a week's worth of GAC history. It's, well, how did he counter this? Done. How did he counter this? Done. How did he counter this? Done. Right, okay. Now I know what I'm doing. And it can be literally the 2 minutes that you're waiting for a OmegaBot report, flick through. Okay, I've got these 5 things. Look at these 5 things. 10 minutes later, I'm done. Or it could be an hour later, I'm done. It all depends how much you want to put into it, how far you want to go in, just how crazy you really are. The more crazy you want to be, the more dangerous you want to be, the more time you have to put in.
So are you setting up, so you get the OmegaBot report, go in and have a look and see, are you then setting a defense and then figuring out how to beat them on their defense?
No.
Or are you going, I need X, Y, and Z to beat this? What have I got left? Let's put the hardest shit on.
As a matter, so irrespective of OmegaBot, the idea would be, I'm trying to get a sense of their trends looking at OmegaBot, and then I have specific I have the picture in mind, and then I go to SWGoH and I'm looking to answer those questions. But as a matter of procedure, something that I teach all my patrons and everything is to review their attacks of their opponent from just the last week. You could look, like, let's say we're now in week 3, you have 2 weeks of history to look at. You can look at both of the previous weeks if you want, but I think it's intuitive that the latest and greatest of your opponent's understanding of how to play in this meta will be found in just the most recent week. If you're still scrabbling for ideas or not seeing a clear pattern or needing more data, you could look at the week prior. But otherwise, just start with the previous week, look at how their attacks change from rounds 1 to 2 to 3. Don't see them drop in round 1 on a certain team and be like, right there, that's the one I need. I'm going to set that one bottom front. Well, hold on. You didn't see what they did about that in rounds 2 and 3. They probably found a workaround. It's important to see how they changed, because whatever they failed with using that, how are they now employing that team that they failed with? You know? So now you're looking at how their attacks evolved into round 3. And then when you're done looking at that attack set in round 3, you flip over to the defense tab and look at how they set their defenses. And what I tell all of my patrons is open up a notepad file, write down every one of those teams they placed in round 3, and write a precise counter for each. And any of the teams that you didn't put on that list, that's now at your discretion to put on defense. Because you can't be sure that your opponent will set the exact same defense next week, but very, very rare will you find somebody that will deviate from the level of strength of the defense. If they're putting 3 or 4 GLs on defense, they might rotate which, but very seldom would they go down to 2 GLs or up to 5 GLs. And so if you're planning based on the overall level of strength of defense that they have, very, very rare that you're caught flat-footed.
Yeah,
Are there any?
I would agree there that as long as you look at it carefully enough and make sure that you know you can clear their defense of what they naturally set. Like, you might get lucky and might notice that they don't change their defense for the 3 weeks. And there are people like that. And if you do get one, it's, well, here's your defense. Well, I can clear it. And then you go, how I do it is, I will have that list that Tass has just talked about of these are the teams I need to clear you. I may have some that are like Night Sisters / or this / this, and it gives me options. And then when I'm making my defense, I'll be there going, well, actually, I'd really like to place this. And if it's on one of those options, well, I'm comfortable doing either. I can now delete them from that counter, move them to defense, and if I know full well my opponent struggles, like one of my opponents does struggle with Night Sisters this week, I place my Great Mothers team. I like Great Mothers to take on Gungans. It's not necessary for me to have Great Mothers for Gungans. And that's the part where it comes down to it is, do I still have a counter? Yes. Am I happy with that counter? Very much so.
Some of the
Would
most
I
fun you
prefer
could
it?
ever have in this game is like the circumstance that Womp's describing, where it's like, okay, I see that he likes to go, that he'll struggle with Night Sisters. And the times that he's beaten it, it's because he used X team. So what I am going to do now is set a board where I'm definitely going to draw X team up front, and then it's Night Sisters in the back. And seeing people choke on that type of thing, you might even lose the whole round, but the satisfaction factor of, I saw you, I saw it, I got you.
And this is the thing, it's like, yes, at the moment, you'll be silly not to have Slacker in the South because that team can just go wrong. And then you're going, okay, B team. It's no longer, it's even a comfortable counter. It's now, oh, fuck, this is about to go potentially wrong. And you're going into it knowing that your B and C and maybe even D answer to this team is potentially not a clear. And it's that moment of you build the rest of that wall to basically go, he struggles with this team and this team is living in the back. These are his usual counters for this team, and these teams that I've put in the front really call out those counters. When he does finally crack that wall, there is that moment of, you can tell by the fact that they stop attacking altogether. They just stop. And it is that heartbreaking moment for them of, they've opened a wall that they thought was tough to find the teams that they hate. Which you guys know, I hate Gungans. Fucking hate them to a degree because I've lost with Bo, I've lost with CLS, I've lost with teams that really do counter them. Which is why I save Great Mothers for offense all the fucking time. because get fucked Gungans. I hate you. But if it comes round to somebody goes, they cannot clear Great Mothers and they've struggled with Great Mothers and history says they do struggle with Great Mothers, I'm going to place Great Mothers on you. I will accept that Bow is an answer to Gungans. I just don't want to accept it unless I have to. Because we all have those teams that we all absolutely despise. And for me, it is Gungans. I've had fights go wrong that should not have gone wrong. So if I've got 100% answer to them, I'm taking it. Right. Viewers' questions time, because we are nearly at the 3-hour mark.
Jesus. And it's
And
like
the best
1 o'clock
part
in the
here
morning,
is-
but I'm like enjoying this conversation.
The best part
On
is we did raid and gap chat, and we started this at 1 hour and 20 minutes in. And that's all this has been.
Yeah. And like I've actually got like a whole newly found excitement, I guess. I'm like, normally you guys would be just talking and I'd just be like, okay, yeah, interesting takes, but now I'm like, okay, yep, I'm gonna do that, and that. Anyway.
Good.
So I'm gonna leave the first question from Bane until he's on, and he can ask that one. So the next question, or the only question for tonight, is from Benga, and which probably sort of follows on from the topic we're having. So where have you seen the Barris Ophicron? It sounded so great, but doesn't make her better next to Ray. It's not better than Ezra in 3v3. So where have you guys seen it? Or where are you using it if you can tell us that without giving it away?
I have seen it with Ray and Ben. It's a fucking pain in the arse. It is better to have Ezra over with Ahsoka because it makes that team a little bit more. I've actually got to throw certain things at it now and not just, well, I've got this, I can kill it. And the reason why I hate it with that is it's basically pegging you to go, here is Starkiller, here is Malicos, and here is Seer. I have one choice without throwing something better at it. And it is that moment of, number one, I don't care about your Barris Cron reviving now. I'm just ignoring that section of the Cron, and I am just going to blow the team apart.
Oh, because Malicos stops reviving.
Stops to revive.
Correct. Yeah. He grants anti-revive to all of his Ufu allies.
Yes.
But then the problem comes, and this is where we were talking about scouting before, is you place that knowing that that person is going to throw that. You then place something in the back wall that needs a Malicos counter. And oh, look, you've placed it in the front to bait it.
Okay. Yep.
And that's where I'd say it's still a great team. Barris with that team is a problem. But you are baiting Malicos.
I don't disagree that what you just said, Womp, can produce good results. Having the Zaris Cron with Rey and then having Exile Ezra with Ahsoka, that makes a lot of sense. One thing that I will say was different that I've learned here is this last round with Sasha Aisha. He had Rey Swallow Exile Ezra with a set 22. High defense Cron, really high defense. My Queen Amidala counter failed. I just didn't even get Exile Ezra to DI. All right. Then Leia Drogon R2, which has just been reliable for season after season after season. 3 versus 3, 5 versus 5, whatever. Wherever you see Exile Ezra, get it done. Went in there with the Heracron. So, the turn meter, the offense, the defense, the health, really nice setup to get the job done. Got blown out again. All right. And I looked up Seer Malicos Starkiller for that particular setup with the high defense on it. It's less than 10% win rate. Like, it's abysmal. So you can, between that and choking on his slacker, my JMK failing, I was unable to clear his board just for what it cost me to clear those two teams. And you're thinking, oh, well, were you using Xeris then? You could make a B team with with Hondo or something, but that's going to get beaten by bounty hunters. I'm not really into that. An interesting use that I think it's okay is Ahsoka Watt Xeris. Bought it from Sasha, and you're thinking, oh, I can probably great mothers that. Only well qualified applicants need apply. This isn't the age of set
Yeah.
20 anymore, where you have dark side offensive buffs on level 3. You still have set 21, which has high armor penetration, crit damage, stuff like that that might help your sisters, but you do not have the ham fisted crush on Ahsoka that you did last 3 versus 3. And I have seen no shortage of players choke up using Great Mothers trying to take that down. Obviously, with Wada on the team, you're not going to do it with BKM either. So it's not the same pushover, that Ahsoka Watt thing, that it was last season. And considering what it cost me to get through the Rey Swolo Ezra, I think that's probably the better split this season.
Yeah, like I can only go off what I'm running. My Barishkron that lives on defense is 200 and something percent defense with protection. It is absolutely disgusting because it is that moment of you're basically baiting somebody. It's the only real answer you have got to this team is see a Malicos and hope for the best. If you do not realize that amount of defense is going to fuck that counter up, that's on you. So yeah, honestly, I would still use it there. But like you said, you can use it with Ahsoka. You can use it in so many places that maybe might be more worth it on Ahsoka. But I like Ahsoka Azrael and Hoyang, and I've also
Nothing
got a
wrong with that.
200%. I've also got a 200% cron on there.
Maybe that defense is going to offer a significant wrinkle, but I know that, like, Ahsoka, I set that myself, right? I set Ahsoka Ezra Huyang, and then it got laid. So to that point, it's like if I had just set the nasty 3 under Rey, probably a lot worse odds of Leia in particular getting through that. Because it's not, most of us have been keeping Leia to take out Exile Ezra wherever he should appear. So
Yeah.
knowing that set 22 can really put a stopper on that, I'd be eager to lean into it. Now, there are opponents that are using their Leia to take down Lord Vader. Maybe that's like where you're saying where you're going to set Exile Ezra with Ahsoka then, if that's how they want to use their Leia. But if they've got their Leia designated for going after Exile Ezra, wherever he pops up, worthy consideration.
Just to tell you how I'm baiting people a bit more, you've got the Ray-Ban Barris. You've also got the Ahsoka Ezra Hoyang. And in the same wall, you've also got the Lord Vader with the Apocron, and you've also got the Slacker. So it is literally, come at me. It's where would you honestly want to throw your layer? And honestly, I just want you to throw it somewhere because the 2 crons that you would think are going to be the good place to throw it are ridiculously high defense. And then you've also got that SRKR to deal with. Like, honestly, the Barish Cron is strong. It's irritating as sin. And it's just trying to bait somebody.
Anywhere else that it can be used? In threes?
It limited viability in threes, because it's like you have Xeris herself, which is a haha, you have to deal with me first in order to prevent people being revived, or you have to do permakill or use some other gimmick. So she's a gimmick. She's not really doing much in the combat herself. So who are 2 other characters that can really do such heavy lifting, right? Maybe you do something like Old Ben, Hondo, Xeris, but that's the definition of a B team, right? Something where, you might use something like Bam Queel IG-11 and probably take that down because it would be your IG-11 in that situation that gets captive and stuff like that. So anyway, the idea there is like the original asker of the question said, like it's kind of hard thinking about where to use her in threes because unless you're using her with something that's truly a very strong team, you're cutting 1/3 of the threat out of what that team's really about. Like Xeris is just kind of sitting there. So,
Yeah.
you need to have allies that really make it feel like it's a punish. Like you can't ignore Ray and Swolo. You want to just go after Xeris from the beginning. Okay, fine. Now that she's dead, and now that Ray and Swolo both have 100% turn meter and 100% bonus offense now, and that lasts for the rest of the match. Okay, good for you. But what if it's like what I'm saying, where I kill Xeris, and now you have Old Ben and Hondo. Hondo's a threat. Hondo with 100% extra damage is not a good thing. What do I care about Old Ben?
Yeah. And this is the thing, is a great I do like the idea of Ahsoka with that Xeris and everything else, but it's like, would I prefer that or a revive Cron? Would I prefer that, or it is like, which way around do I really want to take this?
Mhm.
Like having revive on the level 3 and the Xaereth Cron would be terrifying. Because it's, you've killed Ahsoka. You've killed Ahsoka again. Oh, fuck, I didn't kill Xaereth in the right order. I left her to last. Oh, fuck, I'm dead. Because then, oh, look, Ahsoka stands back up for the 3rd time, and you go, not again. And she's hitting harder. But it also comes down to, are you bright enough to know what the kits do, how the Datacron then interacts, and then are you going to do the smart thing and kill the correct target in the correct order? If you do not do that, you're in trouble. And it is about reading the kit. It is about knowing the Datacron and going, right, okay, I've got to do this correctly. You cannot afford to. Certain teams are kill them in the right order, forget about anything else. And then there are certain teams where it is, I don't give a shit. I just kill.
There's any JML, Watt, Barris shenanigans sort of thing, or not worth really looking at?
JML Watt Xeris. Maybe, but that's about a draw then, because you need to, and let's say that you have the new mace. The new mace, if you're setting like Mace, Depa, Ayla on defense, something that's handling it pretty cleanly is Inquisitors. So if you wanted to lean into that and set Mace up front or another Inquisitors draw and leave them without, Inquisitors and Sith Eternal ideally for dealing with JML in the back, you probably got something there. I think that would be very difficult to use Dash, because Dash is kind of like a traditional off counter to JML on defense. I don't think that would work with Xeris there. So I think you've got something in that sense. But again, are you trying to concentrate Watt, Xeris, and JML as a team if you are unable to draw Sith Eternal or Inquisitor? So that's the task, right? Any one of these cool ideas. This is what all the top players are doing, where if they're trying to scheme up some really dangerous team composition, like Sasha set Riva, Darth Vader, and Starkiller on defense in the back. There's no earthly way that I could have seen that coming. But his task up front was to draw Sith Eternal out of me, and he did, because he set his Keller and Jocasta Temple Guard with Temple Guard Cron. I don't think he was even Temple Guard Cron, but but I used Sith Eternal solo there for 58 and was really satisfied with that, right? And then I get to the back and it's like, okay, so what now?
You got done.
So that's the task, man.
Yeah.
That's the task. Have your cool idea, but then you got to think about what its predators are and how are you going to set up the conditions to draw those up front.
Because I think
It's
Benga's
like-
sort of, I don't know. I actually don't know what he's sort of at GP wise, but I feel like he's sort of like a mid game sort of thing. So I was trying to sort of think of a, you know, but I guess if he's asking about Israel, like he's probably got Ahsoka, right, or close to it. So yeah,
The thing to look at is look at your opponents around you in your bracket. If they don't have things like Malakos, you could abuse that Cron by going, deal with Ray-Ban now. Without a Malakos, you're sitting there going, okay, so what's going to keep him dead? What ignores that Cron? There isn't that many options. And this is where, like, sitting with Tass to learn how to scout properly was great. Then stepping it up and going into the little itty gritty details that I'm learning myself and pushing myself to learn every day makes it that little bit more fun. Because if I know my opponent has got the Zarashkron, I know that they are placing it with Ray, I will see a Malakos and I will laugh. However, if my opponent hasn't got that Cron and hasn't got Malakos, I'm going to place that shit on defense and watch somebody sit there and go, here's this, I killed Zaris. Okay, great, you killed one out of the three. Now deal with a preloaded Ray and Ben. And you sat there going, what do I throw at a preloaded Ray and Ben that's also got the level 15 bulk? Okay. And this is where scouting does come into its own. Look at what your opponents have and work out how you can use what they don't have. When you're a smaller account, that's what it comes down to. What don't they have? What can I twist to make sure that what they don't have is needed? And then they can't clear your bottom front. And in threes, bottom front is where all the points are because the rear is your point. In fives, ships are your thing to protect. In threes, your back wall is what you want to protect.
Yeah, that's why I've been
Give 'em
putting
ships.
SLK bottom. Like, go for the ships. I think I've got like shit. I don't think there's even a GL on the top wall. It's like, go for the ships. I don't care. But good luck getting through the bottom.
My top wall is nearly as disgusting as my bottom wall, but that's because of things like Afro with Africon, Beck with the Temple Guard Cron. It's like, come on. You may not have a GL, but it's gonna hurt. It's not a wall you want to go into.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm also baiting you there to go, well, here is Grand Moff Tarkin. Oh, look. Here is the here is the two others with him. Come on, take Sidious. I dare you. If you think, oh well, I'll just clear the top because that bottom wall is too nasty to go into. If you then start to clear the bottom wall and manage to get to the back, you're gonna wish you had Sidious. And it is all about trying to bait somebody into making the stupid decision to go, oh, I'll clear top first. No. Always clear south. Always. Even if top is worth more points, unless you know you cannot clear south out, then switch to north and clear north. Have a plan to clear south and then clear north last.
Then you get to see what's at the back wall.
Because if you clear that back to the back wall and go, shit, I can't clear that, but I can now go clear north and clear fleets. Well, yeah, it's not as many points in threes. But in fives, you go, oh shit, I can't clear that. Right, I'll go clear fleets now. You clear fleets, and that's more points. Puts all the pressure on your opponent to go, get fucked. You've got to clear me. And that's what it's about, is if you end up going first, put all the pressure you can on your opponent. If you end up going second, that's where it becomes the efficiency fight of let's get through this clean. And that's where me and Tass both love it if our opponent's gone first. It's great. It's a beautiful feeling. You get to just sit and work out and go, okay, so I've got all these drops to play with. But at the exact same time, it's the other part of it where it's like, I'm going first. I can't drop. And this is the walls I'm facing. You've got to put the pressure on them. And that's the important bit. Put pressure on, guys. Right.
Yep.
We have been going for 3 hours.
Yes.
Let's get the fuck out of here. I'm being honest here. I want to go eat food before I have to do a lovely, lovely stream.
Yeah.
So I'll say goodbye first so I can go start putting some food on.
All right.
So I'll be back in an hour, guys, maximum. I'm going to be doing the stupid shit at the stupid freaking raid, testing all the different teams under the sun. God help me. Oh, God, please no.
You love
please
it.
no. Yes, I will.
Don't lie. You'll love it.
No, I won't. I'm doing it because it's going to help everybody else. There's going to be all the videos. If anybody wants access to the videos, they're just going to be on a Dropbox for people to make videos with. They're not going to be needed by me. I don't care about doing this bit. All I really want is the information to be available to you guys. Make life easy. Let's find an auto way. We can auto this raid. Great. Let's do it the even lazier way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Right. Anyway, guys, I'll be back later. I'll be back tomorrow. Enjoy. I am going to go get food. So I am going to turn my camera off. Or not turn it off. I'm going to do this. Whee!
It's just a box now. All right. So, hey?
Magic.
Oh, he's still talking. I was like, what the heck?
Lurking in the shadows.
Yes. So yes, thank you, Tass, for coming on. And I was sort of a last minute, hey, what are you doing this morning? Sort of situation.
Yeah, happy to join, man. Yeah. Happy to join. Appreciate you having me.
And I appreciate the 17 people who basically sat through that last hour of me asking Tass and Wombrat basically tips for my GAC. So that was pretty good. Like some of the things I hadn't considered, and yeah, I am starting to like it more. So there's things I'll definitely add into the little bits and pieces that I do. So I really appreciate it. And like,
happy to help.
Just
you asked some pretty commonly asked questions about scouting and the relative value of it. So
yeah,
good topic, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure like a lot of people get a lot of info out of that. But I can't say it was for 100% for the community. It was definitely probably 80% personal gain out of that one. But yeah, I'm sure someone else got something out of it.
Fair.
So yeah. But so you got obviously GSC couple of hours time.
Yeah, I'll be streaming one of my patrons matches because I got one of those Erodiums we were talking about. So last night I streamed a TJ 5270s match. That was a fun one. And yeah, Striker's a UK person, so not really feasible to catch him on the nighttime release of this round starting. So we'll get him here. 1 p.m. Eastern is when we're scheduled to go live. So that should be fun. It's another top 50 Kyber 1 match.
Yep.
Something to look forward to.
Okay. Cool. All right. And obviously you got YouTube and all those sort of things that you upload the videos to.
Sure. Yeah. If this is the plug myself portion of the show, then yes, catch me live at twitch.tv/Tassinix. And I also simulcast live on my YouTube channel as well. That is Tassinix Gaming.
Yep. I've missed you the last couple of weeks, but normally you sort of on while I'm having lunch at work. So I'm often like, oh, here's half an hour of watching. But yeah, I haven't. It's been a while. I think I haven't really synced up with my lunch hours with your GAC, so we'll have to
Fair.
work on that a bit. But yeah, but
Well, and if you ever can't catch me live, definitely check out the YouTube because if I'm streaming at night, it'll usually be the next morning where I'll go back in and add chapters into the
oh,
YouTube
yeah,
Oz, so you can just cut right on through.
yeah, that's a good idea. Yep.
Mhm.
Alrighty, cool. And yeah, obviously, once again, thanks for coming along. And
My
we'll
pleasure.
see everybody else next week. We were trying to get Bones on, but I think he's only just started his new job, and trying to get him to come back on is a bit of a challenge. But I'm sure we'll get there at some stage. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, and thanks for coming along, Tass, and yeah, hope you had fun.
Yeah, appreciate you. Take care, everybody.
Alrighty, cool. So we'll raid into JJ. He's been on with us, and he's looks like he's doing GAC at the moment. Probably a good person to go across to, and yeah. Alrighty, cool. Everybody go over there and say hi to him, and yeah. Alrighty, thanks, guys.
All right.
Alright, raid